Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Doctor Who stream. In this Doctor Who stream, we are doing a bit of a throwback to what we did started last year and doing a TV ranking of the Master Stories. Once again, I am joined with Luke.
Yes, hello everyone. It was a little series of ours, wasn't it? I suppose we did
Yeah.
Daleks, Cybermen, Sontarans, Sea Devils, and Silurians. We bunched together, and then Ice Warriors. I think we did around summer to tie in with Beyond War Games, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we like to try and link things in with things.
Yeah, and here we are now doing all the Master stories, which of course includes some crossover because the Master has turned up in some Dalek stories and some Cybermen stories. Particularly Cybermen stories.
Yes, quite a few Cybermen stories. So it'd be interesting to see how we fare because, we might have changed since we last did those.
Yeah. It's like every other series finale between 8 and 12 is Master and Cybermen. So
we'll see which is the best one of those.
I think we already know, but
Yeah.
If you've watched any of the previous ones or have seen the Regeneration Advent Calendar, again, Regeneration tier list, a lot of these crossover.
Yeah.
The Master does like to kill off the Doctor. But we'll see how all that turns out. Hello, Stylish One. Thank you for joining us. Will this be as controversial as your infamous and much maligned Dalek tier list, which caused you to take a YouTube break and apologize on camera and start a running rivalry with me? We'll see.
I don't know, actually. I don't know if there's any hot takes here.
I feel like with you, Stylish One, you are more of a 60s fanboy, and the Master doesn't have any 60s stories. Or is that a hot take in itself because of the War Games? Is still the Master. But yeah, I feel like where you get most heated is with those 60 stories if we trash them. But there's no 60 stories here for us to trash. So hopefully we will be good and avoid your wrath this time.
I mean, some things can't be helped, though. Some stories are just naturally weaker than others. Survival of the fittest, isn't it?
Yeah, or just survival, as we get to.
I think that's going to be interesting because I feel like me and you differ on that.
No, I feel like there is going to be more differing with this one.
You think?
Particularly, mainly in the 80s.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we should see. Ooh, but anyway, how have you been?
I've been all right, really. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too much Doctor Who watching as of late. I've been dragged into a different British institution of sorts.
Right.
I've been catching up with Death in Paradise, watching that from the very start. I don't know if you've ever caught any of that.
No.
But yeah, that's my latest obsession, I suppose. But yeah, because they did a spin-off earlier this year, Beyond Paradise.
I mean, it has got the Doctor in it, hasn't it? Chris Marshall.
Yeah, infamous to Doctor Who fans of a certain ilk, isn't he?
Yes.
Because he left Death in Paradise just as casting was beginning for the 13th Doctor, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, was he also rumoured to be the 12th as well?
I don't really remember that far back. I mean, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah, certainly for the 13th Doctor, he seemed to be the favourite for a while. He seemed like the safe bet. But I think having seen him now in Death in Paradise and Beyond Paradise, it's an issue of people not necessarily wanting Chris Marshall as the Doctor and more wanting to see Humphrey Goodman, the character he plays, as the Doctor, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Where it's like they just want him to continue playing the same character.
I guess a bit like Peter Davison with Tristan then.
Yeah. I suppose they sort of both have that same vibe, actually. I mean, speaking of Peter Davison, the most recent episode I watched, he was in as a disgruntled screenwriter. Along with Michelle Ryan as an actress who he hates.
Not a fan of Lady Christina then.
No, evidently not. But yeah, Death in Paradise features Rassilon. Yes, Don Warrington. He's throughout the whole show, I believe.
Mm.
He sticks around as a regular character. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is a case of where do I remember that actor from?
That's
Like,
most likely Doctor Who.
yeah, often that is the case. Paving Slab Woman from Love and Monsters.
Oh,
turned up
Ursula.
at one point. Yeah, I can't remember the actress's name, but yeah, certainly there's been a fair few actors who have turned up. Who's the one from Silence in the Library? I think it's the other Dave, the one who wasn't in Big Finish.
Steve Pemberton.
No, the other one.
Oh, the person from like Total London, Ray Purchase.
No, he was on Big Finish.
Oh no, which the other Dave? Oh, I know you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Black Widow as well. I cannot remember the actor's name.
Yeah, I can't say I do.
Yeah, he turned up in a recent one. I was like, and almost every other episode, really, it's oh, I recognise that face.
Yeah,
but it's cozy TV, really, and I think you can see why it is as popular as it is. But also, it's one of those funny things where I don't think it has much of like an online fandom presence.
Maybe you should get that niche. Start that niche, you know.
Death in Paradise fans coming next week. Tier listing series 1.
Hey, there's probably there's a market for it. There's a market for everything.
In the market. But it just seems to not be. I think because the main audience is probably more, older people.
Yeah,
it sort of doesn't inspire that same type of rabid fandom that shows like Doctor Who has. You sort of like have a similar thing where there's a show called Succession on HBO, which is supposedly like the biggest show in the world at the moment, or at least was a month or so ago. And yet no one really ever talks about it online. It doesn't get that much traction, but because of the target audience being like generally more older people, there's so many people who will watch it, but just don't have an online presence to spout about it.
Yeah.
But you don't run 10 years without being successful, so that's Irish one indeed.
Has it really been 10 years for it?
Yeah, 2011 it started.
Blimey.
Yeah, I think it's coming up to its 100th episode now. So
it's Stones of Blood.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, can binge it.
Yeah, I'm on a rate of 2 episodes a day at the moment, so it's been a fun time. So Doctor Who has fallen by the wayside a bit, but still catching up with some Big Finish. I did Geronimo.
Yes, yeah, good man. Who the man? Luke's the man. Who's actually listened to it?
I have at last. I'll be getting on to All of Time and Space at some point soon as well. And then we'll be doing a stream next month, won't we? About both of them.
Yeah. Is that the 3rd stream of the month?
Yeah, 3rd stream.
Yeah.
A little sneaky preview there of what's coming up.
Yeah.
So I won't say too much now, but good start. Loving Valerie as a character.
I've seen a lot of praise online that she might be the best 11th Doctor companion. Do we agree? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but certainly all off to a good start. And it's wonderful having it feeling like a series and feeling all planned out.
Yes, I think that's a good way of putting it.
I mean, we'll see how it all comes together over the final 2 box sets, but so far so good for me.
Yeah.
Would you say All of Time and Space was better, or Geronimo's the winner so far? Which of the 2 box sets?
Just off memory, I'd probably say All of Time and Space, because I think that it's setting up Geronimo's setting up the range, and I think All of Time and Space is kind of letting it run now and just seeing where it goes. I think that's the exciting thing. We've just got to wait until December now, which it's painful because they're advertising. It's just like, give it to me now. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's like we've already got cover and story details for quite a while away. And we
Oh.
still don't know about Seventh Doctor in June.
Yeah, it's weird how they release this info. It is strange.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I get why they don't do it as a case of, the next thing that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't just carry on from where we're at the moment with news. But when you're jumping around that much from like December, when you've still not got nothing for July and August for the most part, it does feel a bit odd.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully Big Finish will open the floodgates soon with upcoming news.
Mm.
But I feel like, they've got to really for those June releases because Vortex will be out like just over a week, and that'll be previewing June. So
Yeah, it's just getting more Once and Future news. I'm getting a bit impatient for. So I want to know what's next.
yeah,
Not
I'm
even
wondering
heard any of it yet, but I just want to know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're holding off on that until after the first one's out at this point. Like it's going to
I
end
think
on
they
a
will.
cliffhanger, and then they'll reveal the cover and details.
I feel like it'd be like a Dalek Universe thing where the first box set will drop, then you'll get the cover the day after.
That's where Dalek Universe we had all the covers before they were even out.
Oh, they did something 10th Doctor related like the day after Dalek Universe 1, didn't they? It might have
Was
been the
it the
covers for
individual
something.
covers?
Might have been.
Dalek
Might have
Universe
been.
2?
Might have been.
Yeah, certainly. I remember we had Dalek Universe 3 cover before Dalek Universe 1 even came along.
Yeah, that was February, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, must have been. Stylish One says, have you seen Jason Hagella reconfided that there's stuff prepared and even recorded up until 2030? That's crazy. Looks like Big Finish do have plans and are thinking ahead. That's probably Fourth Doctor stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they've recorded some stuff with Colin as well. I think they started banking Colin now. Because apparently he's recorded a story with Flippin' Constance and Terry Malloy.
Ooh. It doesn't take us too long to get around to that one then.
Yeah. Because I've been thinking about all the missing plot threads of Big Finish that have been left hanging. And there's quite a few.
Yeah. I feel like with a lot of the stuff they record in advance, though, it's less planned out and more just let's write a story, and then it gets thrown into a box set later on.
Yeah,
like with a lot of some of the recent Fourth Doctor adventures, like Series 11, it very much just feels like we've managed to record 4 Leela stories. Let's put them together. And there's no real connectivity between them. They could have been in any order, and it still would have made sense, really. I think there might even be something a bit off in that series continuity-wise when it comes to dinosaurs. Because obviously you got dinosaurs in the first story and dinosaur bones in the last story.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
and I swear there was something in relation to those that felt a bit off. Like maybe Leela not knowing what dinosaurs are in the last one. It might have been something like that. Or at least, you could have had a reference to, oh, I remember the dinosaurs.
From that random bit in episode 2 of the World Traders.
Yeah. I mean, Dilla had a pet dinosaur, didn't she, pretty much? Wasn't she riding on the back of a T-Rex?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Crazy times. Sarge one says, Curse of Davros 2, this time in Manchester, now about Patricia Menzies and Older Perry. We shall see.
Wouldn't be against that.
How about you, Ben? How have you been?
I've been all right, yeah. Finished Bad Batch, so I'm broken.
You sort of run out of your binging now, haven't you? Or you got Rebels at some point.
I have started Rebels. I've only done the first episode of it.
No. I feel like that'll be a bit more of a slower one for you to get into.
Yeah, I can't say it's doing much for me at the minute.
Yeah. I think the animation as well. Like when you've gone from that progression through Clone Wars and then through Bad Batch, it's going to be a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Have it. Rebels
It-
animation improves a lot by the time of 3 and 4, but yeah, it's rough at the start.
It just feels like I'm watching like a PlayStation 2 cutscene animation type thing. No disrespect to it, but it's not Clone Wars or Bad Batch animation by any means.
Yeah, you can see why they maybe returned to that style with animation. Yeah, I wonder if that's now just going to be their standard in-house style for all animated series.
Yeah, I hope so because it's a good style.
Yeah,
and
it was it makes sense as well to stick with it because you've already got so many assets and such. It's easy to reuse a lot of that rather than if you're going to start a new animation style, you'd have to change certain things, like basic blasters and such, stormtroopers, whatever, depending on what the series is.
Yeah.
And I think so. By the time you get into later Rebels, you can sort of see some of the lessons they learned doing that carried over into Clone Wars Season 7 in terms of particularly the lighting. I think is where Rebels shines later on, and you can see that how that got carried over into Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it in the end, but you got time. You got to August for Ahsoka, so you got a good few months to go still.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of dates, funnily enough, this stream is exactly 6 months after Power of the Doctor.
Yeah, oh, that's very fitting. That's wild. Yeah. It's been 6 months since Power of the Doctor.
That is insane. That's it. I mean, it'll be the last story we talk about on this tier list as well. So
it's a happy accident that we're doing it today instead of the Friday.
Yeah, I had to get in contact with Ben to tell him I can't do Friday. So we held it back a couple of days. And it was only today I realised, oh, that kind of works.
Yeah, it works better. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I suppose. Do we have anything more to say, or should we just dive into the tier list?
I think should we
get on with it early?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple comments in the chat about certain master stories. Daniel Hager, a Sherlock Holmes fan,
moved on from the Fifth Doctor.
Moved on from the Fifth Doctor. Done a bit of time traveling. Hi, Ben Luke. How are you tonight? We're pretty good.
Thank you, Daniel.
Victoria Waterfield, I have a book with additional information about each of the Master's TV stories and other stuff about the Master. Very cool. If you've got any, if you're still here, let us know some cool bits of trivia. Be interesting to know. Roger Delgado is a Bassmaster. I agree. Ryan Carrick, most of the Davison ones are pretty bad. We'll see. We'll see if we agree with that.
As we said earlier, 80s is where we feel is going to be the most division between us.
The John Pertwee ones and Roger Delgado ones are amazing in the role. I think there will be a bit of bias there, but we'll see. We shall see.
We do love Roger.
We do love him. I wish I had more Jeffrey Beavers on TV. Beavers is really good, and Big Finish have done wonders with him, really.
Yeah, he was sort of like the main audio master for quite a while, wasn't he?
He was.
Gradually got phased out as we got Jacoby and such on audio.
Yeah. So here's the tier list. Let us know your favorite master story and your least favorite master story. Be interesting to know where fan consensus is. What is the best master story?
But I mean, in terms of tiers, we have top tier, of course, is Masterful. What else could we go for as a name for that? Then second to top, we've got I love this story. Do you still like this story? Fun little reference there to one of our favourite lines about disguises in Time. A good story at last. reference to Keeper of Traken there. All good fun. Predictable as ever. Deadly Assassin, of course. He's talking about the master there. We're talking about the story. We're getting into the latter half of the tier list now, so this is the more negative side of things. Now I can say I was provoked. A Jacoby line there from Utopia, which basically just means the story's provoked us so much that we're putting it low down on the tier list. And finally, King of the Wasteland. End of time quote there. This
reference from one of Luke's favourite stories.
We're definitely keeping that out of the bottom tier.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's going to be quite high.
Stylish One says, are you judging these as Doctor Who stories or as Master stories? I'd say it's Doctor Who stories. At least that's where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree.
So I think certainly later on it becomes hard to say what you class as a Master story. And I'm sure there's some controversial choices on what is left out of this and what isn't. Because, I mean, it all starts off in the 80s, really, with The Ultimate Foe. Is that really a Master story? And is it even a story in its own right, or is it part of Trial of a Time?
Yeah, because some people class Trial of a Time Lord as one big story, like Doctor Who magazine. Others class it as 4 entities, 4 stories.
Yeah, and I think certainly for the purposes of this, to me, it made more sense to just go The Ultimate Foe, because it's the only 2 episodes he turns up in, and even then, he's not the main threat still.
Yeah,
it's still the Valeyards. So,
where's the Mind Robber, Luke?
Oh dear. Like we said, we steered clear of the 60 stuff. We didn't want to upset
That is not the Master. The Master is Roger Delgado and Third Doctor. That is my canon. Begins. That's where it begins. That's where we're starting.
And where's the original version of Talons featuring the Master? Big Finish haven't made that one yet. I'm sure they will, given how many 4th Doctor original versions they're doing at the moment. Utopia, Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords. I counted as 2 separate stories, which is probably controversial as well, but
I agree, because I prefer one over the other.
Yeah, it just allows us to give Utopia the praise it deserves. I mean, then when you get into the Missy stuff, it's very awkward, because she's obviously scattered across Series 8.
Well, Series 10 is the real bad one, because it's like Empress of Mars and Eaters of Light, where she just appears at the end, really. I guess Live of the Land, actually. Live of the Land, is a Live of the Land there? No,
I left out Live of the Land Extremists. I was debating it. I wasn't sure whether or not to count them, because it's not like Missy is even a threat in them. She's more just a character in her own right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. What do you class as a Master story? Is it literally any story where the Master appears in, even if it's just short? Do you count Caves of Androzani as a Master story?
There's so many loopholes with doing the Master.
Like with the Daleks and the Cybermen, it's often a much more clear cut for the most part.
Yeah, they're like the main focus.
Yeah. You've got Pandorica open to Big Bang, which sort of throw a spanner in the works, but for the most part, it's fairly clear cut. But yeah, Master it gets a lot more sticky. But anyway, shall we begin?
Yeah.
With Terror of the Autons. I mean, all the Third Doctor ones we've done before anyway. But this time, the Time Monster, I've watched it.
Yeah, you can properly evaluate it.
Yeah. But first, Terror of the Autons, where are you feeling?
I
know it's definitely one of the top 2.
I think it's probably I love this story.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think that it's a really good story, but it's not. I prefer, in terms of the Autons, I think the Autons are better in Spearhead. but I think this utilizes plastic better. I think the Master, it sets up the Master really well. I like the horror of it with a little troll doll, but yeah, I don't think it's quite top tier Third Doctor for me.
It's a bit, it's messy plotting, but you don't really care because you're just having so much fun with the Master and the Doctor one-upping each other throughout.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of aha, I've defused your bomb. It's a lot of that, isn't it? Back and forth, and it sets up a dynamic between the Doctor and Master. But they don't really want to see each other dead. They just like to have that intellectual foil for each other.
Yeah, it's sort of a game of cat and mouse almost between them, isn't it?
Yes,
They're like both, or perhaps cat and cat even. They're both chasing each other's tails throughout the story. It's a good bit of fun, Terror of the Autons, I'd say.
I think it's a special because obviously it got recolorized for like the DVD, and it was sort of one of the late Third Doctor DVDs, so it was quite a special one to finally experience the Third Doctor meet the Master and have that. So I get quite nostalgic going to when I first watched it, really.
Yeah, and then even now you've got a new experience on the Blu-ray with the updated special effects, which are wonderfully done.
I think that should be the next tier list we do.
The updated special effects.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be good to do. I know. We've got a free slot at the end of March, end of May, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We're not planning.
We're not planning that far.
Yeah, maybe we could slot that in there or sometime in June.
I mean, we should leak our December series. Jokes, we haven't got one yet.
No, we got other things to record first.
Yeah.
Oh
dear.
But yeah, Terror of the Autons is just a good bit of fun.
Yeah.
I think perfectly introduces the Master and his dynamic with the Doctor and that game of one-upmanship they have. I mean, the very end of the story as well, I think, ends on a perfect note of, Joe and R'yl looking forward to it when the Doctor talks about his next encounter with the Master.
I mean, he better be looking forward to it because that's all he's going to see this season.
Yeah, we've got all of season 8 on here because now we're on to the Mind of Evil. I think, does he turn up in episode 1 or is it episode 2? Do they hold him back a little bit here?
I think they hold him back to episode 2, I think.
But yeah, this is sort of a throwback to season 7, really, isn't it? It's not a particularly original observation there. I think everyone says it. But
it's got a nice grit, isn't it? And I think because the film quality, well, the actual quality of the print isn't that great, but the Blu-ray's brilliant restoration. It sort of captures that sort of season 7 grit in the film, like we say about the Annihilators.
Yeah, it does have that same slightly washed out feel to it. Yeah, not completely. It's not like dull as dishwater to look at. It's just got a little tinge of the color drawn out, and maybe it's just also the color palette of the locations. Like there's a lot of gray in the prisons and such.
I think it's got similar set pieces to season 7 with like obviously the unit storming the prison is a bit like the warehouse fight in Ambassadors. I feel like it's got a very similar sort of Havoc set pieces for it as well.
One of the best directed stories of Classic Who, I'd say.
I'd agree.
In how all that's done. You've got some wonderful shots. I love the transition where the Doctor's, talking about his time being locked up in the tower, and then the Brigadier drives up to the castle to begin the siege. All that's wonderfully executed. There's a great shot as well where both the Doctor and the Master are both physically and mentally worn out, and it fades between the two of them. You've got wonderful.
The Doctor's scared of Zarbi, and Silurians are haunting. So yeah, it's all cool stuff.
Jo Grant gets a good bit to do as well.
Yeah, she's got great agency, hasn't she? With the person who gets reprogrammed, reconditioned.
Barnum.
Yeah.
And I mean, also just her getting the gun out of one of the inmates' hands during that first prison riot.
Mm.
You know, she pretty much is the reason that they gain control back of the prison in the early half of the story. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to love about this one. Benton even gets a bit of an arc.
Yeah, he's sort of like
Okay.
Double O Benton, isn't he? Because he's like
Mm.
sort of undercover agent, isn't he? Really, in this.
Yeah, at the start, and then obviously lets the Brigadier down, but is
I
able
love
to redeem himself under Briggs' eyes.
I love the when the Doctor and Brig go to a Chinese delegation thing, and the Briggs like try to be direct, and like it shows sort of the diplomacy of the Third Doctor that you've got to ease yourself into a situation. It's very much the Briggs are bull in a china shop, and the Third Doctor's like, no, we'll do this with elegance and style and decorum, Brig.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and the scene wonderfully ends with the Brigadier just like sitting down on the chair, crossing his arms, raised eyebrows. It's just
Brilliant.
just in awe and annoyance towards the Doctor. I mean, I also think as well it does very well with the Master as a character. Like the scene where you see his greatest fear and it's the Doctor laughing at him. I think it wonderfully builds on what was set up in Terror of the Autons and takes it in a more, I guess, mature direction, perhaps.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, I
One with
think
more.
season 8's. I think Terror of the Autons and Mind of Evil are still sort of baggage from season 7 in terms of the tone. I don't think you get the season 8 tone until Claws of Axos, really, because I think the first two have still got that grit, I think, and horror.
I wouldn't say Terror of the Autons has it as much, to be honest.
I
I think,
think
especially when you compare it to Spear. Maybe it's because you have Spearhead to compare. They contrast so much that Terror of the Autons almost feels like it sets the tone for season 8.
Oh, I don't know, because I feel like you've got the horror of the Troll Doll, the police Auton. I just think it has more sort of horror factors to it, really. I don't know.
I think it's got horror in it, but it's not that sort of. How did Stephen Noonan describe it? The post-nuclear industrial gothic.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah,
It's not got that vibe to it that all of season 7 does, and I think Mind of Evil has. It's not quite got that. I mean, you got the missile there, but I think it does sort of call back to that a bit more with the prison setting. I don't think Terror of the Autons has that much. You've got the circus setting instead. It's horror, but in more
clowns
of
are
a
scary.
colourful. Yeah. But it's much more of a 70s horror than, I guess, a holdover from the 60s style
Maybe.
of unnerving. Yeah. I think it's horror through juxtaposition as well. Terror of the Autons. It's these things. It's what Doctor Who does very well. Often, taking the everyday and making them terrifying, which admittedly Spearhead has as well in the shop window dummies. That whole attack scene. There's so many.
I think Terror explores the plastic more as a concept. Because Spearhead's sort of restricted to just the mannequins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's never really anything beyond the mannequins, is there?
You have like the doll factory, and nothing comes of the dolls at all. It's just Channing and the bunch in his little workshop, really.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose you also have the doubles, don't you? Which again sort of leans into more of the espionage side of things. The idea that anyone could be an Auton double and you don't know it.
Yeah.
And then Terror of the Auton, never leans into that. Because instead you've got the masks being used by the Master and him sticking on other characters throughout.
Yeah.
I mean, back to Mind of Evil. Is it masterful?
Yeah.
There we go. Brilliant stuff. I love this story.
And it feels like New Pertwee because it was the last one to be released on the DVD line. So it just feels new and shiny in the
Yeah. I mean,
best
the
way
last one
possible.
be colorized as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like for so long, it only exists in black and white, which when you see clips and pictures of it, it does work in black and white as well.
I think it probably would benefit being black and white, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it just feels wrong because Pertwee's the colour doctor, isn't he?
Exactly, with all the colourful jackets and such he wore. Especially, he gets more colourful as the show goes on as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because season 8 introduces the burgundy.
But Claws of Axos now. Now, we're definitely in season 8 tonally with this one.
This is the most 70s story. It's psychedelic, it's wacky, and just a real good concept from the Bristol boys.
It goes along at quite a pace as well. Like, it burns through a lot of ideas and just
It's
keeps
the
going.
Third Doctor Christmas special.
With the unforecast snow.
I mean, season 8 was plagued by freak weather because you had that when they were filming the Daemons as well.
I wonder, this is probably the least master story of the 3 so far.
Yeah, because he's kind of a prisoner, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, his plans failed before the story's even started. Really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like he lures Axos to Earth, but then Axos double crosses him before the story begins. It's wonderful how that trope is recognized so early on that they subvert it and have it already happen before the third story begins. And then, for the most part, he's trying to make the most of the situation. You got those wonderful scenes where he's working with the Brigand unit for a little bit, but he's much more of an agent of chaos than Claws of Axos, I'd say.
And I like how this story plays into the Third Doctor's character in the sense that he's willing to say goodbye to Earth and let it go. Because, he doesn't really want to be stuck on exile. And it's nice that we're finally picking back up on that plot thread because I don't think it was picked up from Spearhead, really.
I mean, you had it a bit in Terror of the Autons when he, got the Masters dematerialization circuit and tried to use it in his TARDIS. But I think it's the Third Doctor is least trusting, where you're not sure whose side he's on. You believe maybe he is going to leave because he certainly was ready to leave in Spearhead, wasn't he?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the lowest of the Third Doctor. I think the lowest the Third Doctor character ever went, and a bit where I questioned Terrance Dicks is in The Eight Doctors, where he's literally willing to shoot the Eighth Doctor to get his TARDIS. The 90s was wild.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mad man.
And that's by Terrance, who knew the Third Doctor inside and out.
It lost his way, someone.
But yeah, I guess it fits with Claws of Axos with what he's trying to do. But it shows the selfishness of the Third Doctor's character, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I'd say it's I love this story.
Yeah, I'd say. I've got a huge soft spot because I think that was my second Third Doctor story I saw.
Oh. What was the first?
Inferno.
Ah, I see. That's a good place to start that one.
Very good.
Yeah, Stylish One's coming in here with the hot takes. Terror of the Autons is very mediocre. It's so alright and feels like it's just going through the motions. It should be so great, but there feels like a lack of passion. Fun fact, Mind of Evil loosely implied that a year had passed since Terror of the Autons. Yes, it does. Like you got the fact that Keller has been doing these experiments for quite a while, hasn't he? Unless the Master somehow substituted himself to the real Emil Keller. But that doesn't necessarily make sense unless Emil Keller happened to look like Roger Delgado as well.
Hey, don't apply logic to it. Just roll with it.
Yeah. But that, it just throws the unit dating conspiracy even more up into turmoil. Yeah, hot take: The Mind of Evil is one of the best Target novels. Its gripping feels so large and impressive, and the pacing is amazing. When I watched the story for the first time, I was really let down by it. It wasn't nearly as impressive as what I'd imagined, and the pacing was pretty bad. I wanted to like it, but I've experienced the superior version. I love it so much. Ah, it's a shame. Daniel Hager says, "I love The Mind of Evil. It is a great one." I suppose when it comes to Target novelizations, it's almost always going to be better in your mind, isn't it? It's a similar thing with when you listen to the soundtrack of Lost Stories and then you watch it when it's found.
Yeah, I think a big common thing is like in the Three Doctors Target book with like leaving Omega's domain, like the flame. It's like this massive fire thing, but instead it's just like a bit of smoke in the TV show. But again, it's using the medium to its advantage, isn't it, in prose?
Yeah. I mean, even in some of the dialogue in the Three Doctors, you've got Joe saying it looks like Aladdin's cave, and it being a grand palace. Like they're very much in awe of it as they're looking at it, but you're just looking at a pretty crappy set.
No, that is pure imagination and brilliance.
I mean, I don't think there's ever a line about the walls wobbling in the Target novels.
It's Omega losing control.
Anyway, Colony in Space now.
Underrated.
I love this one.
It's a lot of fun.
Although I do feel like the Master's a bit out of place in it. I think his plot thread is the weakest. I'm more interested in all the stuff with the colonists and the miners.
I do love the Master arriving in like a full regalia and him just having a oh shit, the Doctor's here. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you can tell he wasn't expecting him.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But it's odd how this story is supposedly meant to trick the audience into thinking they're having a break from the Master.
Yeah, because you're 4 episodes in.
Yeah. And yet the opening scene of the story is the Time Lords going, the Master's stolen our files. Send the Doctor after him. It ruins the surprise a bit there. Maybe the audience had forgotten by that point. They were too invested in the miners.
They're too busy being terrified by iguanas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant location work by Michael E. Bryant. The quarry looks believable as an alien planet.
Yeah, they're always good, aren't they? When you have the irony of the first alien planet in color being a grey quarry.
Hey, it works. It works.
Hey. I think this story improves a lot when you see that it's going for a Western vibe as well.
You even have that with the shootout, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I love that it's like the rustic style guns rather than lasers. I think it adds a lot to the pace of the action scenes as well.
Yes.
Like oftentimes action scenes where you've got lasers instead of guns, it seems to slow down a lot. Maybe because they've got to say, all right, stop, we need to add this special effect on top while you're doing this, things like that. It doesn't always work out as well, but in this instance they made a good choice to just avoid that entirely, and I think it lends itself, I should say, into the Western vibe that the story's going for. But I just wish the Master plotline could have been better integrated. I'd say it's none. I love this story.
Yeah, I think it's on the same level. So it's really.
Yeah. And now we have the Demons, arguably the quintessential Master story.
And quintessential Pertwee story for many, because it is the unit family, isn't it, really?
Yeah, everyone gets a bit to do with this one.
What else can you say? It's for Demons.
Are you going to put it in masterful, or I love this?
I think it's got to be masterful.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it? It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I feel like it's one of those ones that I've watched too many times.
But that's a sign that it's brilliant.
It sort of drained away the joy of it for me, sadly. It's like, I know it's good, but I can't muster up much enthusiasm for it anymore. Yeah, I need to have a Demon's break and return to it in a couple of years.
Next Monday, it's Beltane's Day, so might stick it on then.
Go for it. I mean, it's about the time it aired anyway as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Sea Devils now, I mean, this is one we have already covered in a different one of these. If you've been around here for any length of time, you'll know how Ben feels about this one.
Best story ever.
Let's stick it in Masterful.
No complications there.
No, you got some iconic master moments as well, like the sword fight.
I think it's the best dynamic between the Master and the Doctor, to be honest.
No. For me, I'd say Mind of Evil, but yeah, I think they are very good in this one too. Especially like with the him visiting him in prison.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's played wonderfully by the two actors. But now we have Time Monster.
Take it away, Luke. Take it away.
Ah, yes, because this is a story I've now seen.
Yes.
Because when we did our season 9 ranked way back, I think we recorded that a year and a half ago now, didn't we? It was about September 2021, I think.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
It didn't get released until a fair bit later, but
March 2022.
Ah, there we go. But yeah, with that, I just had to sit back and say, right, Ben, you cover the mutants and the Time Monster, because I've not yet seen them. But now, season 9 came along, and it was my chance to watch them for the first time, complete the Pertwee era. And I'm glad I had this one as the last, because of it's very much in a similar vein to the Demons.
It's trying to replicate it, isn't it?
Yeah, not just the mythology side of it, but also in that it gives most of the characters a good moments in it. Like Benton gets his moment of capturing the Master and such. But yeah, when we say about it capturing the magic of the demons, it does feel like they're trying to make lightning strike twice and it doesn't quite work. It feels like it's trying too hard to recapture that magic rather than going for its own. And I think I enjoy parts 1 to 4 a lot. I think it's part 5 and 6 when you go to Atlantis
stuff.
It just sort of becomes a bit messy, really. Joe and the Doctor are brilliant throughout it, though. I think it might be their best story together.
Yeah, I think season 9 cements why they are one of the best TARDIS teams in the show's history.
Yeah, the dynamic is on point. John and Katie are getting along so well, and it all comes across on screen very well. I love how it almost feels like the Master's getting nostalgic about season 8 in it, with him hypnotizing the guy who works at the Institute. And he's saying, I haven't had someone this obedient in a long time. And he's talking about Farrell. He misses Farrell.
Oh, dear.
But Stylish One says, has the stream crashed? I don't think so. Not on our end.
Yeah, still going our end, yeah. Yeah, we're still all right, I think.
Or we might not be, actually.
Oh, no.
Let's... why is this not loading? Yes, I've checked the stream and it seems to be just... Oh, I've now got an advert.
This is... I'll just check. Bear with if we are actually crashing. That's a bit annoying.
Hey.
Let's see.
Okay, I've just put a message in the chat. If anyone can hear us, do let us know. But
yeah, it's not loading for me. Oh, the chat's working fine.
Oh, I think we're back now.
We're back. Are we back? Let us know in the chat if we're back. Because it's a bit strange. Do we just randomly glitch out?
Let
us know.
Too long.
Let us know if we're back. Are we there? Are we back?
Sideshot says I can watch it, but it takes a while to load. Fine now, though.
It's
Yeah,
odd.
curious.
Should we risk carrying on?
Yeah. Hopefully, it's just a minor issue that's resolved now. Hopefully, as well, it doesn't come across when you rewatch it.
Yeah, it's weird that.
Hmm.
Because it was fine our end as far as... I mean, I could only see the tier list, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was fine. YouTube couldn't handle the Big Finish fans tier list.
Hey, we've not done one for a long time.
I don't think we've had too many hot takes yet.
No, I feel like we've been quite cool with it. Working for me now, fine. Brill, fantastic.
Yeah. All fine now, though. YouTube having issues clearly. Yeah, I think it must be a YouTube end thing because
Yeah.
we both seemed fine on our end. But anyway, what were we saying before I got rudely interrupted by YouTube there?
Time Monsters is just a bit of fun, but it's not a replication of the Daemons that it thinks it is.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get the magic. I think also the direction suffers at times.
The choice of how to shoot Kronos doesn't do it any favors.
No. But you have some great scenes like the buzz bomb falling.
Yes, that's
Great
brilliant.
cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Where you're not sure if Mike's going to live or not. I mean, you know he's going to live, but still, it plants a seed of doubt in your mind. By the way, did you read my hot takes? Yes, we did. I thought we did that quite a while ago.
Yeah,
we
we
didn't read your
did.
hot take. Colony in Space is one of the best poetry stories. We didn't read that one, but yeah, we read your other ones.
We've read it now.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's worrying that it was going wrong that long ago. Because I swear
weird.
it's been about 10 minutes since we read your hot take stylish one. So sorry if the stream's been glitching out for that long.
Yeah. Bit weird that.
A great story at last.
Yeah.
Or a good story at last.
I'm looking at the tier list. I prefer the Time Monsters to some of these.
It's a mess, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah. You can enjoy it just for like the character interactions like Free and Joe.
And here we are at the end of Roger Delgado's stories now. The best master is about to leave us, sadly.
What a good story it is. I think people have slept on Frontier in Space, and it's actually really good.
I'm blinded by nostalgia. It's my first poetry story, so I can't not love it. It's some wonderful sets and model work throughout as well.
I love the music as well. It's brilliant. Especially when you get a sort of the third Doctor hanging onto a spaceship. Like, yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, that's ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I mean, one thing I will give Conspiracy in Space, the third Doctor audio from Volume 8, it does try to recapture that feel in the music. Not sure about the rest of the story, but I rate it for doing that homage. I mean, I think it's got to be masterful.
Yeah, it has to be. Draconians, tremendous.
Yeah, you got so many great costumes as well, haven't you? With the Draconians and the Ogrons, just how believable they are as alien creatures. Ryan Carrick says, Frontier in Space is brilliant. I know there's a lot of capture and escape stuff, but it's so entertaining regardless. Yeah, there is certainly a fair bit of thrown into cells, escape, thrown into another cell, thrown into the master's cell. But I think it's a good variety of cells. Like, you're bouncing about the universe a lot throughout it, going from Earth to Draconia to the moon, and then planet the Ogrons. You know, it's a space opera, isn't it? You got a lot of galaxy hopping there to make those cells feel fresh.
I mean, I like Frontier because I think episode 2 broadcast on my birthday.
Oh, I see.
I mean, 25 years before I was born, but I'll take it.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Frontier in Space is brilliant. I know there's a lot. Oh, sorry, I've already read that one, Ryan. Hot take, never really connected with the demons, says Ethan Turley. Oh, that's a shame.
I guess it's one of those things where fan consensus, you have that expectation that it's got to be this revolutionary story. And sadly, it wasn't for you, which is a shame.
Yeah. Have you checked out the inspiration for it yet? Quatermass in the Pit.
I've got it sitting on the shelf.
It's yet to go on.
Just got to find the time for it.
Also, Frontier was the most shocking classic Who story for me. I didn't know the Daleks were in it. Absolutely brilliant. It made me take notice and love it. Yeah, it's wonderful, the little appearance at the end. Saying a planet. Yeah, I'm still kind of surprised they didn't update the voices for the Blu-ray.
I think it's not as bad as Dare the Daleks. It's not a worse offender.
Yeah, it still feels like they don't quite know how to do the voices.
But you get to Planet and you're like, it's brilliant. I love the voices in Planet. It's
so bizarre how just one episode later, they completely 180. I mean, there was a bit of a gap there, wasn't there? 3 Doctors was filmed in between. And I suppose, is it the same director who did The Time Monster and Day?
Yes, yeah.
I feel like, is he maybe one of the directors who didn't really listen to Barry Letts as much when it came to his advice and just sort of said, this is fine, it'll do.
Yeah, I think that's why Barry didn't hire him again.
Yeah. I think he had a similar... The main fallout was over the monster at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, big old chicken.
Yeah. But anyway, Deadly Assassin now. Shall we move on to the 4th Doctor era?
Yeah, let's.
I think it's a very good one.
I'm going to know whether this is my favourite 4th Doctor story.
Oh, that's strong, is it?
Yeah, I really like the... every time I watch it, I'm reminded of why it's an absolute classic.
I love how each part is very distinct. Like, you've got the build-up to the assassination, where the Doctor's trying to find a way to prevent it. He's tricking the guards on Gallifrey, making his way in there. And in episode 2, you've got the inquiry, the investigation into it. Episode 3, you've got the whole Matrix sequence. And in episode 4, it's the Master's plan coming together. I think you don't often have classic Who stories where the parts are that distinct in structure.
Yeah.
And that helps this wonderfully.
And I like the sort of pre-Star Wars sort of opening for it about Gallifrey and the Time Lords. Like, oh yeah, this is Star Wars Doctor Who.
Hot take, Peter Pratt is great as the Master, the stylish one. I don't understand the disdain. He's so creepy and menacing as a background presence. Looks like the Master is at his best.
Wonderfully shot how they reveal him as well.
Yeah, I think the voice, the way it feels like he's talking through gritted teeth, he has that line about how only hate is sustaining him. I think it really, you feel that through every line. This is someone whose hatred is keeping him going.
And it's downright creepy, especially like the last shot in episode 4 with like on the grandfather clock. I think that's really unsettling.
Yeah. It's a weird image as well, isn't it? Because I swear it's not the actual mask.
Yeah.
It's like something else they've come up with.
I think it's to show that he got a bit of the energy from the Eye of Harmony, isn't it? Or whatever.
Yeah. It's sort of a shame that they never really follow up on it. Because it does feel like it's the start of a new era of the Doctor and the Master, doesn't it? You've got the
Yeah.
line at the end of Out into the Universe, and I hope it's big enough for them. But then the Master doesn't end up turning up again until Keeper of Traken, which just sort of feels like it's trying to do the same thing again. But yeah,
I
Deadly
mean,
Assassin
you would
is
have had it in
masterful.
Talons of Wang Chang,
Mm,
but obviously, for whatever
Yeah.
reason. But yeah, I think Deadly Assassin's up here.
mm. Yeah, just Robert Holmes' brilliance, really. And just so wonderfully shot as well. Like, some atmospheric
This-
stuff, like the way Gallifrey is built as a world, as you've got the like catacombs down below with the steam and the dark lighting, and then as you get up to the Panopticon and such, and it's a bit more open and bright, and then it's the same quarry from Genesis, isn't it? It's that
Yeah, I
wonderful
think so.
white chalk. It works a wonderful location for the fight between the the Doctor and Goth.
Goff.
So just brilliant stuff all throughout, really. Keeper of Traken less so, though.
Keeper Traken will know stories where sometimes I watch it, I like it, other times I can leave it.
More recently, I've been in the leave it mood, to be honest. I know
I've
what you
been done
mean.
the opposite with it. I've been like, I enjoy it, but I've not watched it for about 3 years. So,
yeah. Hot take: Keeper of Traken is pretty bad. It's just so boring and uneventful. Beavers is wasted. One of my least favorite Fourth Doctor stories. I'm not going to argue with you there, Stylish One. I won't. Yeah, I'm not sure I go so far as one of my least favorites, but
no.
certainly looking at all of these, I'd rank it below all of these. How about you?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean,
Is it predictable as ever?
Yeah, because I think there are some real bad offenders in season 17 and not 17, season 15. And I rather watch Keeper of Traken over Creature from the Pit.
Yeah, I agree. I actually really like Keeper of Traken, says Ryan Carrick. Yeah, it seems to divide fan opinion a fair bit.
I like the whole world of Traken. I think that's great.
Yeah. There's something I saw in it that I just cannot see anymore, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is that I've lost.
You can't find the source anymore.
Yeah, something just doesn't work about it for me now. But Logopolis now. Again, we're back onto the regeneration stories here. I have a good time with it, but I don't think it's anything special.
It's got a nice atmosphere.
It's very somber, isn't it?
It's the first universal regeneration, isn't it, where the universe is at stake, really.
Yeah. It's the first time where the Doctor's death is really foreshadowed as well through the Watcher and such. Stardust says, hot take, Logopolis, one of my least favorite Doctor Who stories ever. I loathe maths so much, so this story made me want to cry at times. It makes me bored and annoyed. It is the typical Christopher H. Bibney thing of, oh, look at this exciting science/maths concept that we can incorporate into Doctor Who, and then just doesn't really incorporate it, more just smothers Doctor Who in it, I suppose, is what Christopher H. Bibney often does with his concept.
It alienates people, I think.
Yeah, it's very much, if you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And if not, you're just looking at it confused, really, because it feels like it's trying very hard to be like, oh, how interesting is this hard science concept? Aren't we making Doctor Who cool by making it scientifically accurate? When the plot built around it is just utter nonsense often. Especially, that's what Castrovalva, I feel, is. Like, it's got this interesting concept, but then the way the characters act, the way that the story is built around that concept, just doesn't feel genuine. Like like how the Master's built up this whole web and such.
My web.
Just so that he can kill the Doctor, even though he's got plenty of opportunities during that time. It's like, I mean, yeah, we're sort of doing both Logopolis and Castle
I
Alva
mean,
at
it
once.
works. It
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sort of the second and third parts of the New Beginnings trilogy, aren't they? Both by a bit. But I mean, Logopolis maybe a good story at last.
Yeah, I'd say so. I prefer it to Keeper.
And then Castrovalva. Now I can
Predictably
say I was
Clever?
provoked.
I'd go
Up to
Predictable.
you. Yeah, okay, I'll agree.
The thing is, Castrovalva was great. It's a bit like Time Monster. It's great until it gets to Castrovalva, and you just get a bit bored of it.
Yeah. Okay, it just comes down to it's got a good concept. That concept is well executed visually. I think, especially when you have the special edition
Yeah.
with the updated special effects. That is very well done. And yet, it's just doesn't make sense why the Master would want to do this to kill the Doctor. Well, I mean, he's often, even with the Delgado remaster, sometimes he's doing these things to show off. But it just feels like a stretch too far, really. But Time Flight now.
Oh dear.
What can we say?
I like part 1. That's all I can say.
Is it King of the Wasteland bad, or is it Now I Could Say I Was Provoked?
I mean, something's got to be there.
I feel like Now I Could Say I Was Provoked. I feel like there's some redeeming features to it.
I mean, I had a good time watching it with everyone back in the day.
Yeah, for those who don't know, a group of friends. I didn't.
Were you
watch
not
this one
there?
with you. No.
Oh no.
It's an infamous one, isn't it, for us?
Yeah.
Because it just seems to devolve into a mess.
It's a lot of inside jokes. A lot of inside jokes there.
Yeah, I think it was a live stream that's no longer available on YouTube. Thankfully.
Yeah. Put it there. Put it there.
Yeah. King's Demons, though, that can go at the bottom.
I don't think it's that bad, though.
It's 2 parts.
It's fluff.
And it is a slog.
I mean, I think it's the best Terence Dudley script. I'd rather watch it over Fort of Doomsday.
I prefer Fort of Doomsday, to be honest.
Fort of Doomsday is a slog for me.
I've still got a softer spot towards that one. It's one of my first Davos. So.
I mean, Davo's got a completely different Doctor.
Oh yeah, so like the first one, he's very much playing it
full of life.
Lines written for Tom, isn't he?
Yeah.
He got like, now listen to me, you young idiots. Like, wow.
I mean, we're all thinking about it because it's Andrew.
I'd maybe go Now I Could Say I Was Provoked.
Okay.
5 Doctors, though. You've got some goodness. Again, it's sort of debatable whether it's a master story. Yeah. But I think he's got his own plot. He's up to something in it. I'd say maybe I love this story.
It's a hard one.
It's very nostalgia.
Because it feels like a warm blanket watching it.
You can't hate it, but you can admit there are flaws to it.
But I think this is the thing. I think the 5 Doctors is what everyone wants from an anniversary special.
Yeah. But at the same time, there are like with how it deals with Susan. You know, you think the Doctor's reunited with his granddaughter after all this time, and yet the other Doctors don't seem that fazed by it. It very much treats the Doctors as separate characters who are all still off out there in the universe having their own adventures rather than the same person at different points in their life.
It makes regeneration feel less painful. Feel like they're living on. They're still out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's fairly basic plot wise, A to B and such, but
It's fan service done right.
yeah.
It's callbacks. It's everything you want, though. Really.
It's very well done. I'd say I love this story.
Yeah. I mean, we should do a multi-doctor tier list.
Yeah, that'd be good when we get towards the 60th itself. But Mark of the Rani now. This is definitely one we're going to differ on because you love this one.
It's my favourite Colin Baker story. Oh no, we're not. We're doing Planet Fire.
Oh, they swapped round, didn't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
I cocked it.
I've only watched parts 1 and 2, to be honest.
Quite frankly, I think it goes there.
I'm not going to argue. There's a reason I only watched parts 1 and 2 and didn't carry on.
I mean, I'm even tempted to put it there.
Like
but I don't think
stop you.
It's one of those ones. It's weird because I've watched it, but I have no real memory of it. And I don't get why Fiona Cummings was like, I want to do a director's cut of it. Does nothing for it.
Isn't the director's cut like half the length?
Yeah, I don't know.
I swear it's like a 1 hour version or something they did with updated special effects.
I don't think that did any favors, to be honest. But yeah, Mark the Rani.
I can't say I enjoyed it. I mean, it's sacrilege for you to hear it, but I don't think it's a great story. I think it's a mess.
It's the best Colin story, and that is fact.
I think it could have been better if
I like Chris Chibnall.
In it. It could have been a lot better. No, he doesn't do that until next season. The Jane Baker story.
Okay.
Mark and Rani Part 1 stalled my season 22 viewing. So boring and uninteresting. Also, the best thing is TB's Colin Baker's story about being left behind tied to the log and being found by some dog walkers. I did not know that. I assume that's on the behind the scenes that I probably didn't watch.
Shame.
I can't say I'm a fan of it.
I think it's the best example of the Rani's character on telly.
I mean, there's only 2, and neither of them are exactly highly regarded.
Well, you keep forgetting Dimensions in Time, Luke.
Does it count? No.
It was on telly.
It was on telly.
It was on telly, therefore it canon. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. What's
I like the Luddite stuff. I like when Doctor Who takes history and puts a Doctor Who spin on it. I'm a sucker for pseudo historicals like that.
I like that. I just wish it actually did something with it.
It did stuff.
It's just a bit of an awkward runaround. Like part 2 is just them walking through a forest.
But that's season 22. It's either them bickering inside the TARDIS, arriving. Season 22. I am not a fan. But Mark of the Rani, I am a fan of.
I think Mark of the Rani had the same flaws as a lot of season 22. I mean, I'd go for Now I Can Say It Was Provoked. Where would you go?
I'd say a good story.
Shall we do Predictable as Ever? Then meet in the middle.
Me in the middle.
Yeah, there we go. Now, The Ultimate Foe. It's a bit difficult to talk about this one because it's not much of a master story again. It's also arguably not a story in its own right. It's just parts 13 and 14 of Trial of a Time Lord, but I think it's the weakest of Trial of a Time Lord.
I'd say Mind Warp. I don't like Mind Warp.
Mind Warp is similar to Keeper Traken for me, where I keep going back and forth on it. Arguably even more so. Like, there's times where I felt Mind Warp was incredible and genius, and times where I've been like, what on earth am I watching? But yeah, so with the extended edition, going through Trial of a Time Lord that way opened my eyes until part 14. Then it all fell apart.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go predictable as ever.
Yeah. There's not much you can say about it.
But now survival.
I
Like
love
the
it.
template for the new series in some ways, isn't it?
I think it's all been leading up to it, though. Really, with like Return to Perivale, really. Like the way it's been set up with like Ghostlight, and then you have Survival.
And Ghostlight was the last one they filmed, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I like it, but I don't love it.
Oh, well, I really love it. I just like the thematics of it. You know, the undertones. You know, about it being called Survival, very tongue in cheek, but it's brilliant. I love the dynamic between McCoy and Anthony Ainley. I think that McCoy is probably the best Doctor to pair off Anthony Ainley.
Maybe. I mean, it's a shame in hindsight that Colin never got a proper Anthony Ainley master story. It's like both times he's playing second fiddle to a different Time Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Roger Delgado, he's inexorably linked with John Pertwee, isn't he?
Yeah.
They are each other's master and doctor. With Anthony Ainley, he doesn't really have that. Like the closest you could argue would be Peter Davison because he had the most
stories.
Yeah, but But I think they have a good dynamic, and it's nice how the master gets treated less of a pantomime villain in this.
I think that's why I like it, because he's sort of playing it somewhat straight. And like the scene when they're just on somebody's driveway having this confrontation, it's so domestic and so grounded. You can see how Russell took that and we're gonna do Doctor Who like that kitchen sink drama.
Yeah, it does very much have that feel of a series 1 style story, doesn't it? Sort of like proto series 1, really. I'd say a good story at last.
I'll let you have it.
There we go.
I mean, for the record, I'd probably go 1 up.
That's fair. I would have. I'll have to let you have something else at some point then.
Okay.
So we'll see. TV movie. Where would you go for this? So we had fun with this when we did Regeneration Up in Canada, didn't we?
I would say a good story again. Because I don't think it's the same level as Terror and Claws and What Five Doctors. I don't think it's up there.
It's just fun, really, isn't it? You just switch your mind off. You ignore the whole half-human side of things. You're just like, nope, it's not going in. If the TV series doesn't acknowledge it after it, then I'd have to acknowledge it while watching it, and you just have fun with the rest of it. You got the great "We are in an ambulance" scene.
It's brilliant.
I'd agree with that. A good story.
It's just McGann.
It's the only McGann full TV story we're going to get. So,
unless Russell has some divine plan,
we shall see. Ryan Carrick, hot take: Davison and Ainley are the worst Ainley pairing. He's great opposite McCoy and Tom Baker. I feel like Ainley is cartoonish, which works better opposite Tom. I agree. Ainley series is great though. Stars also says, fun fact: Ainley had apparently said that the way he played the Master Inspired was the way he wanted to play him before. I can see that. So I think you definitely do have almost a sending up of the pantomime elements by JNT before that. Whereas I think when you've got Andrew Cartmel script editing, he's able to rein in JNT a bit more.
I think by that point, JNT'd sort of checked out, to be
Yeah,
honest.
he wasn't as precious about these things. I mean, he was very hands-on with Greatest Show in the Galaxy, though. Like, he loved that one.
I think because he didn't want another Sharda, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. And he was very hands-on with getting McCoy cast.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he hadn't checked out entirely, but I think he'd loosened his grip a bit
Yeah.
and said he was ready to move on. Fun fact, the little girl from Survivor went on to be a successful actor in shows such as Emmerdale, where she had some interesting and very controversial storylines. Oh dear.
That's every soap, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, also, Survival feels the most like a soap.
It does, yeah.
The
The Bad Cat Man.
My cat.
Oh, no. And that anti-Cartmel.
Hoover Small Collection. Hi, sorry, can't watch stream tonight at work, but Big Finish update currently on 2018 March New Earth set. Oh dear.
I mean, 2018 is a
Bad
very...
cats.
Yeah. I mean, 2018 is a year, very fine vintage, you know. But New Earth, yeah, no. I mean, I've not listened to it, but it's just a meme, isn't it, that box set?
Yeah. Thank you for stopping by, though, Hoovian.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hot take, I prefer the Doctor being half human to the Timeless Children, where the EDAs they went with that line is crazy. What have you got any insight into
that? No. I probably would have 8 years ago.
So you've removed it now.
Yeah. When you're sort of on TARDIS Wiki at midnight and you're just going down that rabbit hole. I can't remember. Let us know. Let us know what it is.
Yeah. But I don't. They're both awkward things that are probably just going to be ignored. They're both things that happened immediately before RTD took over the show. New Earth sold so well that they gave it away for free with DWM less than a year later. They did indeed. We got that. We still haven't listened.
That's true. That's true. That's an incentive. If we reach a certain goal, we should review that.
Do we have to?
Hey, it's an incentive.
Utopia now, masterful.
It's close. Like, I really enjoy it. I think it has to be up there.
Yeah, so I'd say it's less than the other stories in there, but greater than the ones in I love this story. I think also since it's the only Jacoby. And he is such an amazing master. Like if
for all those 5 minutes, it's brilliant.
Even if you exclude Big Finish, he is just oozing the master in those 5 minutes at the end.
I mean, even Scream of Vishalka, what bits he's in, you're like, oh, he's perfect casting for the master.
Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lord today. Do you want to take away this one? Because I'm not sure exactly how you feel on this one, to be honest.
I really like Sound of Drums. Last of the Time Lord, I probably think it's the weakest Russell finale.
Yeah, it's between that and Doomsday. Russell was never the strongest on finales, particularly with the 10th Doctor.
I think this is the worst offender of the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it's literally reversed a year. But at least Martha's character and her family keep that trauma, and that leads to decide to leave.
I'm glad Martha left on her own terms.
I feel like the Doctor aged thing isn't that great.
Yeah. I like it. I like all this stuff for them on the run. And I like how we build Saxon throughout Series 3.
Yeah, it's very well done with the arc, like how the Fob Watch is introduced 2 stories before, and then how that is reintroduced in Utopia. And then with the Lazarus machine as well, how you have references to Harold Saxon being involved in that. And then that comes full circle with the Master's laser screwdriver with the technology he uses on the Doctor.
I think Runaway Bride was the first mention of Saxon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, I believe. I think, oh yeah, it's the tank scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Orders from Mr. Saxon, open fire. I think it's probably the best planned arc of a series that Russell's done. Because in other
I
series, it
love
was
Bad
like
Wolf
repeated.
though. I love Bad Wolf though.
I like Bad Wolf, but it's very much just repeated phrase.
I think because it was my first series, I'm like, that is it. That's how you do a story arc, or series arc.
I mean, series 4 is probably the weakest of them because that's sort of several different things weirdly thrown together. You got Rose occasionally
Bees
popping up,
disappearing.
bees disappearing, a couple of missing planets like Clom.
Who'd want Clom?
Lost Moon of Poosh. Yeah, I feel like Series 3 is the best when it comes to how all that is mapped out and then plays into the finale. And particularly when you compare how similar things are dealt with by the Chibnall era later on. Like you've got the whole Fob Watch thing, how that's not really set up.
It's forgotten about. We never see it again after Flux.
Yeah. Oh, not just that, but like in terms of the Fugitive Doctor.
Oh yeah.
Like how you're just sort of expected to understand that from all the way back in Series 3. Like Doctor Who fans will know. But yeah. Whereas with Utopia, it's already clear what this is. We've seen a 2-parter where the Doctor has wiped his memory, and now suddenly there's another man going around holding this Fob Watch.
Yeah, it's telegraphed very well. In Signpost, quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords itself, I'd probably go for either a good story or predictable as ever. I think Sound of Drums helps. I'd want to go good story. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say good story. I don't think it's the best John Sim story.
No, definitely not. I'd say the worst John Sim story.
Do you know what? I'll actually agree with you there. I'll agree. So I think, yeah.
Have I turned you when it comes to the End of Time?
I have a real good time with End of Time.
It's such a fun romp.
I feel like since doing the Regeneration calendar, I maybe prefer it to Parting of the Ways now.
Really? Well, I actually prefer it, or just would rather stick it on at the moment?
I think I prefer it because, again, I've watched Parting of the Ways so much. End of Time still somewhat feels fresh and new.
Yeah, I can agree. I think definitely the best Tennant finale, if you count it as a finale.
It's not the end of the Tennant era. It's the end of Russell's Empire 1, isn't it? Really,
the first great and bountiful Russell T Davies era.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't have a Deus Ex Machina ending.
No,
it's very well set up how the Time Lords are very much tied to coming back to this universe through that what's it called, Dwarf Star? Or is it White Point Stars?
Yeah, White Point Star. Yeah.
A
little jewel.
And so it doesn't feel like a cheat when simply destroying that sends them back, because it is very clear that that is the only reason they're there. So that all works out wonderfully.
And explaining the drumming as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, like how that comes back into play. And also you could use that to explain why it's not mentioned in the classic series, because it's like a retcon by the Time War.
And just Timothy Dalton as Rassilon, or the
The way,
narrator.
the way he starts off as the narrator, and then you have that reveal towards the end.
It's a very full circle thing, isn't it? I feel everything feels full circle with this.
Yeah, and then especially like the very last scenes where he bumps into Rose again. Like you could say it's a bit over the top, the whole farewell tour stuff, a bit gratuitous, but I think it's earned by that
I think
point.
it's well earned because the show it might not have gone past series 1. It could have finished with David Tennant. It felt like if this was the ending of modern Doctor Who, I think we'd be happy.
Yeah, I can agree. I think it does have that nice looking back to the very start with how Rose is incorporated.
My only dislike is how it's trying to set up Moffat and Smith for failure.
Yeah, the
That's
scene in the
where
cafe.
that's where I start to have issue.
Like, especially when you've got the most popular Doctor who there's ever been in public consciousness, probably at this point, saying, it's like I die and some new man goes sauntering off. That's very much a bit incendiary towards Matt Smith and Stephen Moffat. Like, it was already going to be hard enough for the general audience to say goodbye to David Tennant.
You want to sell it. You want to make sure that the program continues after you. You don't want to be the person who breaks it.
Yeah, like I get wanting to make it sad, but you can make it sad and still hold people's hand through that transition.
Yeah, Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways does it brilliantly.
I'd probably say I love this story.
Yeah, I'd say so. I got some nice little action set pieces, and just Ten and Wilf. To be honest, I think it hits even harder now we haven't got Bernard Cribbins.
I think the fact that now we can go back to this and pick up on plot threads from it with the 60th is exciting.
I'm sure we'll stick it on before November, which I think is it 7 months away.
Yeah, the anniversary itself. Although I imagine we might have an episode before that, early November. Depends how they plan to release them. I heard rumors that it was going to be 3 consecutive nights, which I hope not. I hope it's done weekly. I think you need the time to digest it.
But then, and again, you just want to save and going, oh my god, David Tennant's Doctor Who.
Yeah. Like, his era is already going to be short enough as the 14th Doctor. Don't make it even shorter by having it be 3 days long.
Yeah.
Darkwater and Death in Heaven now.
I
King
like
of the Wasteland.
No.
We are very opposed.
No.
I wonder if we had the same discussion back with the Cyberman one. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I do not like this one.
I think it's great. I love Darkwater. It's like I don't care about the audience who's watching it in terms of what we're doing with the tone. We're gonna make it dark and bleak, and I'm here for it.
He does it again in Dracula.
Yeah, he does it again in Dracula, and I think Darkwater does it better.
I think it's a very grey story, like visually as well as in terms of how it's told. I think it mainly comes down to the climax is just about a 30-minute scene trampling around a graveyard. Darkwater, I think, is an alright setup, but Death in Heaven just cannot get on with it whatsoever.
I don't think it's bad.
Where would you put it?
I don't know if this is a hot take. But I think I put it good story because I personally prefer it over Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords.
I I'll let you have predictable as ever then.
Okay. Because I think the next one is King of the Wasteland.
I'm not going to fight you there.
With Magician's Apprentice, I think just destroys everything Capaldi built. It destroys his vision of a Doctor. I think that's why I like Dark Water and Death in Heaven, because you kind of have it's the last hurrah of Capaldi of how he envisioned the character.
It's that series 8, no frills, just 100% Rebel Time Lord, isn't it?
Whereas this feels like, how can we market this geezer to kids? I know we'll stick him on a tank with a guitar.
It's a midlife crisis, Doctor.
Yeah. And
I think it also doesn't help that Magician's Apprentice is just a full-on filler, really.
It's
when you look at all the plot developments that happen, not much really changes.
The reveal of Skaro is great.
With the CGI Dalek.
Yeah, that was good. I just think it's a rehash of Impossible Astronaut, in the sense that you have the confession doll. The Doctor knows he's going to die. He's going to tell the people he cares about the most. And I think Impossible Astronaut does it way better.
Yeah. I think it helps that you actually care about Amy, Rory, and River at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Clara and Missy is sort of a bit less.
There are good moments, like Clara actually dying. You think is dying, like the end of episode 1, when she gets exterminated. But Dalek sewers, nah, get out of here.
I like the line, "Your sewers are revolting."
Yeah,
but that's about it for that plot thread.
I
think
don't.
It's also,
oh, go on.
It's a shame that it wastes Davros.
I think that's where the story's at strongest, with 12 and Davros.
I think that stuff's all great, and I think you could have had a very interesting story that finally ripped Davros out of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I think it could have been a good send-off for him, like dying and having that last chat with the Doctor. But instead it just turns into a, haha, I tricked you, now I get your regeneration energy. Daleks are going to regenerate plot, which just, no. It's like you had the perfect setup there to give Davros a good send-off, but you don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Julian Bleach, amazing as Davros, but
brilliant.
Yeah. All right. So, what were you going to say before?
I completely lost my train of thought, to be honest.
Sorry. You got all the Daleks, all the different Dalek designs as well for no reason.
I don't like that. I've never been a fan of like crossing,
especially when it's like on the classic Skaro, and just so many of the designs clash with that. Like, I'm all for the nostalgia there of it being revealed as like, the original Dalek City. But we've seen it done much better in like even in Asylum of the Daleks. When we visit Skaro then. And is it City of the Daleks, the adventure game? Is that
yes, yeah.
Like the Skaro from that. Couldn't we have had that instead? I feel like I feel a bit spoilt saying that because, usually I'd be all for these original 60s designs being brought to life, reimagined for the modern era. But it just doesn't work in modern day, really. At least it doesn't fit the tone this story's going for. Especially with them bringing back Davros. If you're doing that, you need to go for a more 70s feel of Skaro at least.
Yeah,
which you get during the flashbacks. That's what. But and you miss out on the jungle. Like even Skaro is a mess in canon anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it King of the Wasteland.
It's sewers. It's sewers.
Again, it's one that arguably isn't a master story though.
Yeah.
But I sort of felt like I had to put it on here. Ryan Carrick. I feel like Moffat always listened to the wrong parts of fan criticism.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's true. That's true. Paradigm Dalek should have stayed.
Mm.
That's a hot take, and I will stand by it.
Okay. And now Warden Up in Time and the Doctor falls.
Do we need to question where this goes?
No, masterful, all the way at the top there.
Some of the finest bits of telly. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Yeah.
Just really is. I mean, yeah,
There's
we've got a
not much
whole
you could say.
hour-long video. Is it? Is that how long it turned?
Yeah, I think
Discussing
maybe a
why
bit
we love-
longer. Yeah.
I mean, we've also got Twice Upon a Time squeezed in there. An hour and 12 minutes and 12
Okay.
seconds. But it's got Twice Upon a Time squeezed in there as well. So we sort of probably about 50 minutes worth of us praising this.
Yes.
It's like you've got the brilliant atmosphere of World Enough and Time. It does bid me better with an interesting scientific concept of the black hole.
Yeah.
And the time dilation there, but it's actually played well into the story, has emotional consequences for Bill and the Doctor. It feels very hopeless when you get into the Doctor Falls, and it is just the ultimate summation of who the Doctor is as a character and him fighting for ultimately just a few lives, just this village full of people to live a little bit longer. He doesn't necessarily defeat the Cybermen at the end. He just delays them enough and dies doing so pretty much.
Which I think is the best representation of the Cybermen, but you can't stop them. They're inevitable.
Yeah, the idea of parallel evolution as well worked in there. And the Master in this story, you know, how they mirror the Doctor, mirror each other as well. It's just, there's so much goods in here. And it's great that Moffat really got it right for his last series finale.
You're kind of spoiled because you're just like, oh, this is perfect Doctor Who.
Yeah. Perfect ending for the Master as well, with them killing each other / themselves rather than standing with the Doctor. And the fact that it's done without witness, as the Doctor put it, for Missy. I think that is a beautiful end to the character. But it's not the end, because they came back immediately after and were evil again with the Spy Master. Wonderfully played by Sacha Dhawan.
Great reveal, yeah. Sacha Dhawan's a big selling point, I think.
He's a brilliant actor. And I look forward to seeing what he does over at Big Finish with the Call Me Master series.
Whenever that happens.
Yeah. And I think if Russell really does want to bring the Master back, just keep the one. You don't need to have Nima. I think either give the Master a rest or keep it as the one, but don't reboot the character again. That's not what's needed.
I want to see what Russell does, because I think Moffat had a clear-cut idea of what John Simm's Master was.
John Simm's Master was at his best with Moffat.
Yeah, and I kind of want to move away from the tortured manic genius. I feel like maybe play it like Delgado, because like he was a fan of Delgado watching season 8. Kind of implement some of that into his Master would be wonderful.
Yeah. But I think sadly on TV, he does come across at times as John Sim light, I suppose. Well, that same manic energy. Ryan Carrick, hot take: the series 10 two-parter would have been the best regeneration story if he had regenerated in it. I mean, I'd still say it counts as a regeneration story of sorts.
Yeah.
It's not the story where he regenerates, but it's the story that causes him to regenerate. It's like if you literally cut the end of time at, the Doctor coming out of the
little cubicle
chamber, the radiation cubicle thing, and then had the Farewell Tour be its own episode.
Yeah.
would the farewell tour really be the regeneration story, or would it just be the epilogue? I think that's what Twice Upon a Time is. It's an epilogue,
Yeah, it is.
but A World Enough and Time and The Doctor Falls is still the regeneration story that we know. It's like similar to the War Games now, really, because that's got a whole. I mean, even on TV, you got things like the Five Doctors that technically take place after it, and arguably the Two Doctors as well. But like, is the War Games now not a regeneration story because of Beyond War Games and such?
You're opening a can of worms out there.
Yeah, exactly. Just throwing some food for thought out there. Chew on those worms. Sacha Dhawan is easily the best thing about the Whittaker era. I agree Sacha should stay as the Master. So I just want to bring back the War Chief, I say. Do the typical Master reveal and then surprise the audience with the War Chief instead. That would be something interesting. Ryan Carrick, Simon Gomez episodes focused on the character of the Master, but Dhawan's stories are often crowded with other elements. I feel he's a mix between Simon Delgado. I agree it's a regeneration story. I just didn't want to cause arguments in the comments. Fair enough, Ryan. Yeah. And hopefully no one would argue with you on that front.
Hey, it's a safe space here. We respect all opinions here.
Yeah. If anyone is going to be mean-spirited in their arguments, then this isn't the right place for you. But I think
get out of here.
Hopefully we encourage enough of a positive space, even if we do have disagreements with people. We try to keep it fun and light.
We encourage discussion and opinions. You know?
It's a silly TV show about a man traveling in a police box at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can't get too hung up on it. Like we are about to really hate on some of Chris Chibnall's scripts here, but Chris Chibnall as a man, he seems really wonderful.
He's a lovely man.
I've heard of him, and so it does feel kind of bad. But yeah, at the same time, I can't say I enjoy much of his era, and it's not like he's going to be around here. Watching our
he might be a lurker.
Anyway,
he might be a lurker. You know?
Might be.
If you're watching, Chris, I'm sorry for what he's going to say.
As if you're not going to say some stuff as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, like we say at the end of the day, it's a silly TV show. It's not worth hating on people for what they've written or what they think about it. Yeah. Don't waste your energy on hate.
That's the thing.
And now, to waste my energy on hating Spyfall.
I don't hate Spyfall. I just think that it has so much promise. It just doesn't deliver with Barton and Chris Sarvin.
Similar to Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar, it's a part one that goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part one I enjoyed initially, but then you get to part two, like you say, Barton and the Kasavin, nothing's really done with. It's just the whole O reveal.
Yeah.
Is very much set up to be a shocking reveal. It's not meant to be a reveal that makes sense. Like when you go back to, like we were saying about Utopia, Sound of Drums earlier, the way that reveal makes sense when it happens. With the O reveal, it catches you off guard. But it's very much written to be a shock, not written to be a plot development. Stylish one says, hot take, Spyfall is various disparate stories thrown together into a messy story. It's just not very good, and I don't like Dhawan in either of his season 12 stories. Ryan Carrick says Spyfall is messy, but I love it. I like it, sorry. Put your words in your mouth there, Ryan. I like parts of it. I'd probably say predictable as ever. Maybe now I can say I was provoked. It's not King of the Wasteland, but
I like this sort of world hop. I like part two when you have Ada Lovelace and is it Amira Khan or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
They're great. I like that. I like all that stuff. And yeah, setting up Stephen Fry just to be killed off within like 5 seconds. Yeah.
But again, with those, it's sort of like you're introducing interesting side characters to then just have them stand around
Yes.
when you've already got loads of companions who are already standing around. It's a similar problem to what Revolution of the Daleks later has, where you're setting up the companions on their own, and yet they're doing nothing. It's a poor man's Sound of Drums. For
Yes,
the most
it is.
part.
But it does have one brilliant line in it, though.
What is that?
Plain thieves. Yeah, I'll probably go predictable as ever.
Very well directed.
Mm.
Good pacey direction. I mean, 2 directors actually on this one, because part 1 and part 2 had different directors, didn't they? Because you got the world hopping episode and then the time hopping episode, so they divided it between different blocks. Fun fact: Daniel Barton's plane has a TARDIS wiki page. Of course, it does.
Of course. This is going to be an interesting one because it's part of a trilogy.
But I mean, the Master's not even in it until the final part, really. I mean, he turns up at the very end of Ascension.
I love Ascension. I'm just going to put it out there. I love the cyber drones. I think, I like Ascension's a good Jodie story.
It's a modern day Earthshock, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's got that same energy to it.
It does have that, because you think he's going to make it out.
Yeah.
You do kind of think this is going to be where one of the fam gets it. And isn't it weird, though? Series 12 plays with the idea of Graham being the Doctor.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
It's got this. You've got the thing in Spyfall. Then there's an odd line in Ascension where there's a reference that he might be the Doctor. Is that all setting up like with Timeless Children that anyone can be the Doctor?
I think you might be reading into it a bit too much there.
Shush.
I think it's more just a bit of fun.
It's probably a bit of fun, but there's probably maybe that's the meaning of the Timeless Children, that anyone can be the Doctor.
Hot take: I enjoyed Ascension of the Cybermen, but it's mediocre and only that good because of how much I dislike the previous 3 stories.
Haunting of Villa Deodat is brilliant, though.
Yeah, probably one of the best of the era. And it's a shame how Shad's character is butchered between those stories.
Oh, he gets worse and worse, doesn't he?
Yeah. But you still got great presence, and that even carries on into Power of the Doctor.
But he didn't need to be in Power of the Doctor, I'm just going to say it.
No, and
apart from that cool bit with like the
hallway scene.
Yeah, apart from that, didn't really need to be in it.
I like that he was in it. I think by that point it was just like, let's just have fun. I don't care about continuity. The whole cloning thing sort of gets a bit more confusing. Like, especially when you just before that set up the idea of tissue compression elimination could be reversed. We had a character who was tissue compression eliminated the last time we saw him, but we've not reversed it. Instead, we've cloned him. It's a very typical thing of ideas being all over the place and stuff being explained that doesn't need to be, only for other stuff that needs to be, just to be sort of not thought of at all. But hot take from Stylish One here: the Timeless Children almost made me stop watching Doctor Who. I brought my enthusiasm right down and really disliked the ep and reveals. As a result, I got into expanded media. So thanks, Timeless Children, for getting me into books, comics, and audios.
So therefore, it should be your favourite story, because it's opened up a whole new area of Doctor Who for you.
Yeah. The Doctor Who landscape has expanded exponentially thanks to the Timeless Children for you. But yeah, the way the reveal is done with it just being the slideshow.
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint going, and this is like... it doesn't... It's bad that you have a female Doctor literally being tied up. It doesn't sell anything well. It doesn't do it her any favours, really.
I get similar to Spyfall. You've got a part 2 that throws out pretty much everything that was going on in part 1,
Mm-hmm.
and to instead do something different. Like you've got the bridge, you've got that portal that leads to Gallifrey, but apparently all the humans went through that. Where did they go?
Did they get converted? Did they? I don't know.
No. Why did Gallifrey have to be destroyed? And then it gets destroyed again for good
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But the Cybermasters survive. What did happen to those future humans left on Earth? Who knows? They could have been a fun little addition to Revolution of the Daleks, but I suppose at the same time it's then just more characters hanging around for no good reason.
Yeah.
It could have been a way to write out Graham as well, have him be married off to Julie Graham's character.
That would have been a better ending than, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go now, Doc.
Yeah. She was in A Death in Paradise.
Oh, there we go. It all
I
comes
knew
back.
we should
It all comes
remember
back.
one eventually.
It all comes back.
I mean, is it King of the Wasteland or? I feel
I
like
don't think
maybe.
it's. I think Ascension holds it up.
Yeah. Now I could say I was provoked or predictable as ever.
Like this is the thing I have with the Chibnall finales. They're not bad. They're just there.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the worst Doctor Who because like you have no strong opinions on them.
I think a lot of people get upset about the plot revelations, like with the Timeless Children, the actual idea of that itself.
Mm-hmm.
They're more upset with that than they are with the actual story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Timeless Children thing, you kind of take it or leave it. I don't think it makes any sense, but
we've had 3 years of it now.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think it's a pointless idea, really.
I just think
I think it's contradictory that Chris Chibnall has said he did it to open up story potential for Doctor Who. Did nothing with that story potential. Introduced the Fugitive Doctor, but never explained the Fugitive Doctor. And then turned around and said, yeah, I fully expect this to be retconned or ignored. It's like, why introduce something that you say it's going to open up opportunities for future writers, only to then say, I don't expect him to do anything with it, though.
I like the personal aspect that, Chris Chibnall was adopted, so I like that he's implemented that.
But I don't think it's implemented well because it's an abusive adoption. It's not adopted. The child has been stolen. It's a story of, the Time Lords being colonizers and such. And it's just, yeah.
I think as well, my issue I have with it is that Series 11's meant to be this clean slate, everything's new. If you want to get into Doctor Who, Series 11, like that's how Series 11 was marketed.
Yeah.
Series 12, you start bringing back, going, maybe Series 11 didn't quite work, so we're going to bring in some of like the familiars. So if those like new casuals coming in, they're going to be brought into this, 40-year-old plot thread. Like they're not going to watch Brain and Morbius. Like you're kind of alienating the casual audience, and I don't think it really works. I don't think it needed to be poked.
Yeah, we sort of drifted away from the Master a bit.
The Master, yeah, it's fine.
He's in the story.
He has a Siberium. Happy days.
It's the weakest of his 3 stories. Yeah, where are we putting it? Predictable as ever, or now I can say I was provoked?
No, I can say I was provoked, maybe? I don't know. This is a hard one.
I'll leave it entirely up to you.
I'm just gonna. Oh, do I get it?
I think Ascension pops it up a little bit. I'd say now it's provoked.
I mean, Power goes there.
No.
I'll
it doesn't let you put it back.
Doesn't let me put it back. It stays there for now.
Odd.
It can only work its way up. Let's put it that way. Where should we
go? Stylish One says, for as much as I dislike the Chibnall era, I'm very grateful he didn't do what RTD did before and soft reboot in Flux. Thank goodness he didn't do that. You didn't need to keep giving new jumping 1 out of 2. There's another message coming very shortly. While we wait for that, Ryan Carrick said, I feel like Chibnall took the wrong lessons from the failure of Series 11. Yeah, it's very much a case of this soup is too hot, this soup is too cold, isn't it? We jump from one extreme to the other. Oh, here we go. Jumping on points to viewers so often in an age of streaming and catch up, you should make a new Doctor's Burst series jumping on point and then just continue on without rebooting. Yeah, it's sort of awkward, that, isn't it? Because with the whole catch up thing, you're going to have people who start the series with Series 1, but then maybe drop off during Series 6 or 7.
Hmm.
And so then it's like, it's interesting how that could be handled going forward with Doctor Who. But I think it's also all right to have jumping on points scattered throughout. But what else have we got here? Shall we do Paradox now?
Yeah, let's.
Because this is one that you're less fond of than I am.
I just don't get it.
I just have a good time with it. I think it's one of the best of the Chibnall era, which admittedly isn't saying much. But
It has all the tropes of Chibnall with the world hopping. I think that it's too overstuffed.
I think it still has moments where it delivers, though.
I
Like
think
the Tegan and Ace scenes.
The first half is so clunky. The second act's better than its first act.
Yeah. A lot of stuff fails to deliver, like the Guardians of the Edge. Like there's a whole thing of the Master's new body's going to be weak. If we can do something about that,
it just feels a bit exorbitant.
Nothing.
But like if we all come together, we can make him explode.
But then that doesn't do anything because instead it's Yaz outside. But I like that it's sort of saying the power of the Doctor is her friends. And, you know, at last you have a story that's actually able to do something with the supporting characters. Like Ace and T can get their own arcs and adventures away from the Doctor throughout it. You still get
the Doctor's not in it, which I think is a required shame. This is a big moment in Doctor Who's history. It's the first female regeneration for a Doctor, and you just kind of sidelined her, which I think it sums up the Chibnall era. You sideline your Doctor.
I'd say the opposite is true for most of Chibnall era. Really, it's more that the Doctor is given too much to do, and the companions are given nothing. But then
I feel like I know Graham more than I did 13th Doctor.
But he's never doing anything in the stories. You just know him through good dialogue, really, and Bradley Walsh being
Bradley Walsh.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to go a good story at last.
No.
Where would you want to go?
Yeah, I don't. No. There, maybe.
Should we do predictable as ever in the middle then?
Yeah, I like
to be higher.
It doesn't.
The Rasputin scene alone.
No, I don't. I just don't see it, to be honest. I struggle with it. Like it's that thing of you want to love it, but you just can't find to love it.
Sean Kelly said Power of the Doctor should have been a 2-parter with the cliffhanger being a Doctor Master regeneration. There seems to be an odd thing with Chris Chibnall and 2-parters where he seems to throw out everything he sets up in part 1 to do something different in part 2. So I'm kind of glad that this got to be just one thing on its own. Could it maybe have been paced better if it had more time? Maybe. But I feel like the way Chris Chibnall writes his stories, if he has more time, he's just going to stuff it with even more stuff rather than expanding on what's already there.
I think the thing with Chris Chibnall is he's scared he's going to run out of steam. So that's why he overstuffs it. He's like, at least I've got all this to cover me.
Oh, Sarge One's got a very good analogy here. Power of the Doctor is like fast food. Is it good? No. Do I enjoy it? Yes. I agree with you there. Power of the Doctor is the fast food of Doctor Who.
I'm just not a fan.
I love the way the classic Doctors are incorporated, and how there's
I
actually
like the
meaning for the
Edge
Fifth Doctor and
concept.
Seventh Doctor.
Yeah,
Not
I
just
like
those,
all
but
that.
also the chip thing,
Yeah,
which does come a bit out of nowhere. It feels weirdly set up, but I think you just sort of accept this era's flaws at this point, and you're celebrating that it's over, really, and having fun doing it.
yeah. I think this is the thing. Power of the Doctor stands up on first viewing because you're like, oh my god, it's so and so. I think it's very much Chibnall's era is reactionary telly, and it doesn't hold up on rewatch.
I'd agree with that for a lot of the Christian era, like Spyfall, like we said about the Master twist. That doesn't hold up on rewatch. The Fugitive Doctor twist in Fugitive of Judoon doesn't hold up. Jack Harkness as well, like his whole warning about the lone side man don't give it what it wants. That doesn't make any sense in hindsight. But Power of the Doctor, I don't think it has anything quite like that. I think those moments still hit. It's sort of like the Rise of Skywalker in a way, or Force Awakens of Doctor Who. It's got that sort of energy to it, where it's just turn off your brain and have a bit of fun. And I have a lot of fun with Power of the Doctor.
Sadly, I can't. Which is a shame. But like we say, all different opinions, we respect them.
Unless they're about Cold Vengeance.
Cold Vengeance is,
When I first watched Utopia, it was in BBC Three's Top 10 Monsters 2013 repeats. When I watched the next two parts, it was on Netflix in 2017. So much build up, but it was worth it. Fair enough. Just to see that after all that time, you were very much a fan of Sound of Drums, Lost of Time Lords. Yeah, sorry. Ben.
Yeah, we've done the master tier list. Happy days.
Yeah, we have now. It's very spread out, isn't it?
Yeah,
like evenly split for the most part.
Present. There we go. Screen share. I feel like we've been pretty fair.
Yeah, we had our disagreements with this one, but I mean, certainly Pertwee is dominating the top half of it.
No, but this is the thing. The Pertwee era is the most consistent in the show's history.
Yeah, it earns it. I mean, it's not just our love for the Pertwee era that's driving that. I think all the stories deserve to be up there.
Yeah,
they're all great stuff. Also, that Sound of Drums next to Umbrella from Utopia is brilliant. Made it look like a Doctor Light episode. Yeah, it's wonderful how they give nothing away for how the Doctor is going to get out of that one.
Russell's so good at that, though, isn't it? Giving you crumbs.
Yeah, it could have been very interesting to have it be like even a 5-parter, where if you got Utopia and then a story in between that about the Master gaining power, then you have Sound of Drums, then a story about Martha walking the earth, and then finally you have Last of the Time Lords. Made for it. There's very much room to expand there. Not that I think it was bad what we got over 3 parts, but it would have been interesting had they pushed that further. Now I've got a few facts and an EDA expansion further up in the chat, which you've missed. Yeah, we'll get round to that now. I don't want to interrupt the flow of our
tier listing.
There was our... Okay, here we go. Silentron says, so, In the EDAs, the Doctor's mother was a human time traveler called Penelope Gate, who landed on Gallifrey and married Ulysses.
I think it's Ulysses. I
Uh,
think.
Ulysses. Ah, yeah, that makes much more sense. But the Master's dad threatened to expose their hybrid child. It's a hybrid. They wiped his memories and stranded him on Earth. Then Ulysses fled, became a professor on Earth, teamed up with the Clade, which were humanoid Daleks from the far future, who the evolutionary end point of life in the universe. Then Ulysses got the Doctor to establish first contact, instigated the war in heaven. Meanwhile, Ulysses helped the Doctor to become, along with 4 others, an evil emperor who conquered and ruled over the remains of the universe before the Emperor Doctor was assassinated. Then his biological daughter Miranda, back in time to his earlier version of himself, stuck as an amnesiac on Earth. They loved their amnesiac stories, didn't they?
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
Doctor's brain is Swiss cheese, isn't it?
yeah, and Ulysses eventually died, but not before being reborn somehow as the first Doctor, who was sent to Earth with Penelope, creating a loop. I hope that explains it all. I'm more confused than I was before.
Do you know what?
I wish I'd never asked. Sorry,
It's a
Star.
wild, it's a wild ride.
Nothing to you, Stylish One. It's more whatever the Eighth Doctor Adventures were thinking then.
I mean, that's over what, 60, 70 books? Crikey.
Wow.
Yeah, if you've
Time
got
Children's
any.
good now in comparison.
Oh yeah, it's cohesive, and it only takes like an hour.
Did I
Whereas
mention the
that-
Seventh Doctor also gave Penelope the means to travel to Gallifrey?
Of course he
in
did.
the
Of
first
course
place,
he did.
and also a lot of other Doctors.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you've got any last questions, pop them in the chat. If you've enjoyed the tier list, leave a like. And if you're new around here watching us on replay, or you're a lurker and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because helps us out, and we can build this lovely community of Who fans who respect and love each other. Safe space.
Yeah, that's what we want to create here, really. Stylish One says, I think general audiences stuck around for Series 5, but Series 6, which started this time today, 12 years ago. Oh, wow. Alienated and confused casual viewers in the pre-streaming general audience era of TV. Yeah, I think I've told the story before about how that split season as well confused people. With a friend of mine who thought Let's Kill Hitler was going to be the Christmas special. Because, at that time, a split series was unheard of.
I think it was because it was trying to take over the States at that point, wasn't it? You can see how America was.
Yeah.
They were trying to influence America by having like the opener being set in America.
Yeah. He wanted to have like his 2 series finales as well, didn't he? Moffat.
And
2 series openers.
I feel like this is a hot take. I prefer The Wedding of River Song to Good Man Goes to War.
I've not watched A Good Man Goes to War in a good while. But yeah, I feel like Wedding of River Song is overhated though.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think the reason why people hate on it is because it's a series finale and it's trying to wrap it all up.
But I think with Series 6 in structure, it's more of like a reverse series, isn't it? Because
it's the anti-series, isn't it?
Yeah, Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon are almost the finale in a way.
Yeah. Maybe watching it backwards works better. I don't know. Maybe we should try that.
Hot take, Magician's Apprentice is great. Nothing amazing, but great.
We respect your opinion there.
But we will say no more on the matter. We have spoken.
The tier list.
It is King of the Wasteland.
It's got to be. Somebody's got to be king.
Who a Small Collection, let's be honest, Wedding isn't as bad as other recent series final eps.
Yeah, it's better than Ranscore of Coldslaw.
I'd say it's the only one that's topped it since would be World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls.
I'd agree.
Other than that, all series finales after Wedding of River Song are worse than it. Like Name of the Doctor, I'd say worse than Wedding.
I've not seen Name of a Doctor for a long time.
I'd give up rewatching Series 6 Breakfast once I reached closing time.
Is that because of James
Oh.
Corden?
Oh dear. Well, that's what I don't. It's nowhere near the Lodger. I think the Lodger was lightning in a bottle.
I think I prefer Closing Time to The Lodger.
Oh,
But that's only off memory, though.
I think the Lodger, it's just great having a Doctor in that more domestic setting, but in a more quirky way.
I mean, it's better than the Lodger comic, which is definitely not aged very well.
Oh, is that 10th Doctor one or 9th Doctor?
It's 10th Doctor and staying at Mickey's flat.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the Lodger.
I never want to know where that goes wrong.
Yeah.
Stranded is a much better version of the Lodger, says Sean Kelly.
Stranded is very good.
Stranded's very good. We love Stranded here. Hot take: Timothy Zoltan as Rassilon is one of the best actors in all of Doctor Who. Can't disagree there. It's perfect casting, isn't it? He's got that very towering presence.
There's authority there, isn't there?
Yeah. Name is great. Matt Smith's performance is one of his best, and it's a very emotional episode. It's one I need to go back to at some point.
Maybe we should do like 10 years of Series 7 Part B or whatever. Maybe we can throw that in with the Chronicles.
Yeah, I think we'll have to talk about Series 7 as a whole, won't we?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, especially with how that fits into it.
Yes. But I will say Matt never give a bad performance. He lifts some of the worst stories.
I say probably no Doctor's ever given a bad performance.
I mean, you can tell when some Doctors are in it and other Doctors have checked out. I think Peter Davison's a good example. If he's checked out, it's going to be a rough ride.
I think Tom as well, there's times where he's chewing the scenery more than he should.
Underworld, my God. He's so spaced out. It's not Tom Baker in Underworld.
Yeah. He's pushing his luck a bit, isn't he, with the producers?
Yeah. He's like, I've not got my cabbage, so why should I care,
Fun fact, Meglos was almost in the Lodger, and Paul McGann has cited the Stranded series as some of his faves, along with Zagreus and Sharda.
I'm surprised McGann remembers Zagreus.
I'm surprised McGann likes Zagreus. I thought that was around the time where he was checking out with Big Finish.
I think it was just before
they gave him Lucy.
Yeah, it was before the Divergent stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all the beginning of the Divergent stuff, wasn't it?
It kick-started it, by the end of it. Spoilers,
it's all like the finale of
what...
Yeah. It's the finale of what came before, and then also a finale that sets up where it's going to go next. From what I've heard.
I mean, you'll have to listen to it this year.
No, I don't.
Hey, if we're going to do multi-Doctor stories, gotta listen to it.
Does it even technically count as a multi-Doctor story?
Hey, it's an anniversary story. It counts.
Starge will ask, in what story do you think each master actor gives their best performance? I'd say maybe Mind of Evil for Delgado.
I think Delgado is just on it on every story, to be honest.
Yeah, there's never one where he gives a half-baked performance. Zagreus has 5 Doctors, Luke. Yeah, but aren't they technically playing different characters?
Just do it, Luke. You'll be a changed person. You won't come out the same person.
I am.
Sometimes we have to face change, Luke.
I mean, Deadly Assassin is Peter Pratt's
Peter
best
Pratt, yeah.
glorious the master. Keeper of Traken is Jeffrey Beaver's best story is The Master.
Mm.
Survival, probably. But
Yeah, survival. Eric Roberts, easy.
yeah. Derek Jacobi, easy.
Sims, easy.
Yeah, Simmett's World Love for Time and Dr. Falls. No question. Probably for Gomez as well.
I think because, again, it's stripped back Gomez. I don't like when Gomez goes full out bonkers. Or bananas.
Yeah. I think he gets good depth with the character there, while also letting her
have something new.
Have a bit of fun at the start. You get that out of the way, but then things go very serious, and I think she plays that very well throughout, with a few jokes along the way. And then the one
Power,
yeah, that was where he's at his best. There you go.
Favorite roles of the Master outside of the Doctor universe. Eric Roberts in Mr. Brightside.
Eric Roberts in The Dark Knight.
John Sim, it's got to be Life on Mars, isn't it? I think.
I've never watched that.
It's good. It's good.
Then that could be the next thing after Death in Paradise.
And then you can do Ashes to Ashes.
Catch up on all the quintessential British TV.
Gomez, Bad Education.
I quite liked her in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, I've not seen that.
I've not seen series 2 of that, to be honest. I saw watched the first 2 when they came out, and then never got round to the second half of the series. I can't remember quite how they broke it up in the end. Michelle Gomez is great in Doom Patrol. Yeah. Derek Jacobi. Not much.
I really like him in Inside Number 9.
No, he was in the Horrible Histories film, wasn't he? It's Claudius again.
I think so, yeah.
I can't say I've seen that though.
In the Night Garden.
He's one who I definitely must have seen elsewhere, but just can't put my finger on where. He's similar to David Warner, where he's an actor who gets everywhere.
Yeah.
But so much so that you almost forget. Delgado is great in the Slide radio drama.
Yeah, it's on Pure from the Deep, isn't it?
Yeah. Delgado's also in Quatermass 2. Yeah, he's playing a journalist. Can't say I've seen Ainley anywhere else.
He was in a horror movie with Wendy Padbury. I think.
Is this a actual horror movie or a BBV horror movie?
No, this is genuine horror movie from I think 1971.
Oh, was it the Blood on Satan's Claw?
Yeah. And I think he plays the vicar in it.
Yeah, I remember Wendy being in that now. I can't say I've seen Peter Pratt or Jeffrey Beaver's Olympia. So I can't say I know what Peter Pratt looks like off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't tell you. To be honest.
Jacobi is surprisingly good in Tomb Raider 2018. No.
Oh, I like Derek Jacobi in Vicious, actually.
Oh, of course.
Vicious is great. I just remembered Vicious is brilliant.
Yeah. With Ian McKellen, isn't it?
The sassy queens.
Yeah. Oh, Dwan is great in Iron Fist. Yeah, he does a good job there. Could you
Line of
also say
Duty?
he's great in An Adventure in Space and Time?
Yes.
That's technically
yeah.
outside of the Doctor Who universe.
Yeah, that's true.
And McQueen is great in Pompidou and The Inbetweeners.
Oh, in the thick of it from the Queen.
Hey.
I am the man who makes the Barty go away. Saturday one. Dracula's good. He's good in Dracula.
Oh yeah, he's there. Wasn't that like at the same time that Spyfall?
Yeah,
he was like
pretty
all over
much.
the place, wasn't he?
I like him in Line of Duty.
Seth May says, "Cheers, lads! With you on the end of time. It's so quotable, and would we love Wilf the way we do without it? So much going on. The Doctor's mum just chef's kiss symbols.
Yeah.
I think it definitely does help us appreciate Wilf even more because he's a wonderful side character before that point. Great interaction with Donna, but this is really where that relationship that we come to love between the Doctor and Wilf is really cemented. Jeffrey Beavers was in Goodnight, Mr. Tom, and had a cameo in Clash of the Titans. I
like Goodnight, Mr. Tom.
Yeah. Right. Jerry Beavers turned up in Wallala. Was it the Ambassador's Death he's in as a...
Yeah, I think so.
Unit soldier, I think.
Yeah, it is Ambassadors, yeah.
Did you know Utopia on iPlayer is edited? What have they edited? What have they done?
I mean, this is why you should invest in physical media.
Have they edited Barrowman out? Who knows? Oh, did you see on Twitter, Doctor Who put out about what's it called? Behind the scenes moments.
Oh yes, yeah.
Our tweet, and they had to hide any tweet replies that mentions my favourite moment is when Barrowman.
No, I've got you.
It's funny how that backfired on them. But yeah, people are saying it's building towards a reveal of Doctor Who Unleashed, the new behind the scenes show, aren't they? Because they've been showing a lot more behind the scenes stuff recently.
No, and Tennant confirmed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he said he had a camera pointed at him.
Just like the old days.
I wonder if he's gonna have a diary again.
I want video diary. Like, do you remember when we? No, this is going to sound really sad, but you'll probably agree with us. We spent pretty much like a whole half an hour looking at a photo of David Tennant's DVD shelf, trying to work out what DVD it was.
Oh yeah, that was when we knew he had no life. We'd hit the lowest point,
but it was a lot of fun.
We spotted a couple of Pertwees on there, didn't we?
I think we did it all, to be honest.
We had to like cross-reference it, didn't we, with what would have been out at that time, because it was around when the DVD collection was probably about half full. It's all like looking at the little To Entertain logo, going, "It's a black one, so it can't be this or."
And you just like looking at your shelf, trying to cross-reference. Oh, that's brilliant.
During the scene where Yana opens the watch on iPlayer, they added war sound effects from Human Nature war scenes, while the original just has music. I suppose it's sort of meant to imitate the Time War stuff, isn't
it?
I suppose maybe that's one of those ones where it's less of a edit for iPlayer, where they've gone back and changed it, and more of just that's how it happens to be. Like it was a mistake that they've edited back on for the later version. Similar to how in Mandalorian, you have like Gene Sky in, I think it was chapter 12. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they went and edited it off because that's what you can do when it's a online series. And so I imagine it's a similar version to that. Yeah. I mean, I know they've edited I think it's Journey's End. They edited out the Next Time trailer for some reason. But they've still got the Cyberman stomp in there over the final BBC logo,
Okay.
which is a odd decision. I don't know why they'd go back and do that. It's not like they've cut it from any other ones. Evening, Stephen Noonan. Thank you
Evening.
for joining us. Just come off the phone from old Briggsy, whom I asked on your behalf about his views on Day of the Daleks. Ah, yes. What were they in the end? Yeah. For those who don't know, I was saying that I believe Briggs had less positive views about them, about Day of the Daleks. Yeah, I swear it was on a podcast probably about a month or two ago now. And Netflix heavily edited last of the time was to remove the dance scene and gun scene. I mean, the dance scene, isn't that down to the music?
Yeah, that would make sense for that.
I mean, even I think Remembrance of the Daleks and Spearhead from Space, probably another classic story as well. They've got different music on there from the original, haven't they? Because just of music licensing, really, it's different between what you can put on TV and what you can have on home media.
I think as well, the Australian collection set, the Chase Beatles bit's been edited.
Oh yeah, it's completely gone, isn't it?
And I think as well the Spearhead from Space DVD cut out the Fleetwood Mac song. I think the original DVD cut it out, I think, and then it was back for the Blu-ray and special edition, I think. Or it's out of one of the DVD releases.
Oh, Stage One says the Blu-ray of Spearhead has the original music.
Yeah.
Oh, and Luke, the hooded soldier in Day of the Daleks is from the OG, not a special edition. There we go. He does stand out a bit though, but yeah, that makes sense now why he was on that omnibus edit. But it's sort of the memory cheats again, isn't it? I foolishly told Wendy Padbury in Chicago about my admiration for Blood on Satan's Claw. She said that was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life.
Yeah, there's a traumatic scene in it for sure for her.
I said that would have been. Was that her first job after Doctor Who?
I don't know. I mean, she might have filmed it after Doctor Who because I think it was early 70s.
Yeah,
so maybe
it was 71, wasn't it?
I think yeah. I think it is. Well, 71, 72 possibly.
Yeah. And films are done a bit more in advance than TV are, so it could be the first one after Doctor Who. Yeah. So maybe that's part of the trauma as well, having to act without Patrick and Fraser around.
Having Anthony Ainley as a priest.
Yeah, it might have been the opposite. I've been left pranks played on her.
But instead, a prank got played on camera for her this time.
Even the Daleks had to have the Beatles music in the coffee bar removed. There's another one. It's funny because now when you watch them, because you don't know it's in there in the first place, it's almost easy for that to go unnoticed now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like the rough and tumble thing from Macra Terror. It's not like that.
Yeah. It's usually like they're able to edit just the sound out, aren't they? But still keep the dialogue. Mr. Noonan, what are your thoughts on all the Masters and their stories are stylish one? You might be waiting a while for that reply, stylish one.
Yeah.
Gonna take a lot of typing from Stephen there. And the less said about the iPlayer SHA episodes, the better.
Yeah, Sarah Jane. I
Jane,
think.
yeah. Didn't Netflix have like a edited version of series 6 where Amy does like a little Sarah Jane style intro at the start of each episode about when I was little girl, I had
I
imaginary
think that,
friends.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
which
think that
just
might have been.
series 6.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing like a video of it.
I suppose it's because of that was when it was BBC America first getting it, wasn't it? So they wanted people to know what was going on. And a lot of American shows do that as well. Like they have a little bit at the start. I know Flash and Arrow used to do that a lot.
A lot of people want that for like ongoing Big Finish series, like the robots and stuff.
Oh, previously. So,
Yeah, like
yeah.
for like Stranded, because like the gaps between box sets were so long, you needed that refresher.
Yeah. I suppose it's a bit awkward with previously on audio though, because it probably will run into the same problems that you'd have with trailers on audio, in that you're often missing context.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, even Primeval did that style of previously. By the way, I've been watching Primeval for the first time and I'm loving it. No, that's got Ben Miller in as well.
Yeah, Ben Miller.
He was the first detective on Death in Paradise. Bringing it back to that again.
I mean, Ben Miller played a very mastery character in Robots of Sherwood, like very
Ainley, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that line from him about, and then Derbyshire.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's so pulpy. I love it.
Yeah. It's funny to think we already had our new master by then in Missy.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it. And so we were just going, give us an Ainley master.
Ben Miller master? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. And I found a broadcast version of the 2005 Quatermass for you, Luke. You don't need that awful DVD anymore. You can watch the actual version. Is that up on YouTube somewhere then?
Or Daily Motion, probably.
Could be. Yeah, I probably should rewatch it at some point, but I prefer the Quatermass 2 and Quatermass and the Pit. Yeah. It's sitting on his shelf, by the way, Stephen. He's got Quatermass and the Pit. He just haven't stuck it on yet.
I'm in the mood to watch the Mind Robber first for some reason.
No.
I'm in the mood for a bit of Troughton.
The one master story we didn't cover.
It's not a master story.
Do you think maybe you'll go back to the War Master Escape from Reality after that?
Maybe.
Did you? You didn't finish that set, did you?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, Xavier Noonan has given us a little bit of insight into his opinions on the Master. Number 1, Delgado, obviously,
Yes,
of course.
yeah, good choice.
Very good choice. Number 2, Gomez.
Ooh.
I suppose that I remember Stephen mentioning how he really got back into Doctor Who around Series 10.
I mean, Series 10 is a
Capaldi.
brilliant series.
Yeah, and so Gomez there. I can see that. Love Pratt and love everything about Keeper, which includes Beavers. Ainley was great in 81 because we couldn't then rewatch Delgado and see how great he was. Yeah, we had that discussion last time, didn't we, about how he's the master you get from Aldi. I think was it out?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
I feel like it was Aldi. Honestly, I like second Doctor Master stories, but then I'm biased. What do you think of pre-third Doctor Master stories, Luke, as the second Doctor fan? I'm not as against them as Ben is. but I don't think we've had any good ones so far. There's an awkward silence from here now.
Moving on.
I feel like they need to do more with the young master. The idea that he's not yet fully formed yet. With who was it? Someone Milo Parker, that was it.
Yeah. I feel like that ship has sailed a long time ago. If we were to get anything with him.
Even Kato Mara confused Ailey with Delgado. But you liked the black hole. We're opening that can of worms now. With is it Parvo? Constable Parvo. Yeah, that was it. Who Simon Gurrier said might be the master. We got 9 viewers. 11 viewers it's just shot up to.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining. It's been a fun one.
Yeah. I think we got round to the main topic surprisingly quickly, didn't we? Because there wasn't really much news or anything to cover, so it was just let's talk some master stories, really.
And it's been quite a chunky one because it's been mainly the tier list, really, hasn't it?
Yes, but hopefully that works out well for anyone who's coming back to this one on rewatch, hoping for that. Because sometimes we can take about an hour to get to the main topic. So I wonder if people on rewatch get a bit infuriated by I've clicked on this video for this. And
if you like to waffle.
Get all this waffle first. I mean, sometimes YouTube is nice and does that autofill of the chapters in it. I don't know if it's done that for any recent ones. I know on your the stream we did just after your birthday, it named the chunk when we were talking about your birthday existential crisis.
I mean, that's very apt. Very apt.
Wonderful stuff from YouTube there.
Thanks, YouTube.
Nick was disappointed at age 10 by day, but came to love it through doing special edition. Watch Day of the Daleks, like having a drink with a friend you remember having had a row with a long time ago. Oh, there we have it then. Let's clear that up.
All's right in the world.
Yeah, so Nick's currently in his First Doctor phase, isn't he now? Because having worked on the First Doctor Adventures with you, Stephen, he's getting into rewatching some of those stories. Or I think, didn't he experience The Smugglers for the first time not too long ago? And then that sort of inspired...
I don't know.
The Interesting Instant. It did that auto chunk thing on some older videos.
Okay.
I wonder why it only selects random ones and doesn't either do them all or none of them.
Maybe because I think some are more profitable. I don't know.
Yeah, does it have to reach a certain amount of views, maybe, or something? What was the one we did just after your birthday? Was it season? Was it the action figure one?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. That's not got chapter times on it. Joe Jones. No chapter times there. I'm just opening up every single.
Was it the Fifth Doctor one?
Yeah, maybe. I think I'm going back a bit too far now. When this. Oh no, here it is. I think it's the Demon Song.
Oh, Demon Song. Okay.
Yeah, Existential Crisis. There it is.
Okay, there we are. Dream Master Casting. I'm probably going to go for an obvious one and say Charles Dance. I would have loved to have seen Charles Dance and Capaldi.
I'm not too sure, really. I just want more of Sacha Dhawan at the moment. Just carry on with that rather than casting a new master. I thought that there's certainly some actors out there who I would have seen and been like, oh, they'd make a good master. But just off the top of my head, I can't remember them. It's going to be a case of... They'll probably show up on Death in Paradise at some point.
Ben Miller? I don't know. Who do you like to have been the master opposite Matt Smith? Arthur Darvill.
Oh,
There was a weird theory that Rory was the master. Who would
I mean, it
fit?
seems to be the
Oh,
thing
go
with a lot of characters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Graham was the master at one point, apparently.
I feel like for Matt Smith, you'd want somebody polar opposite.
I've seen people saying Matt Smith would make a good master, actually.
I could see it now. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not out the realm of possibility.
Be an interesting twist on things. There was a premature reference to the interesting incident in Masters of Earth, the Colin Baker audio. Was there? I suppose more of just a happy accident there.
It's been a while since I've listened to Masters of Earth, so I can't really comment to remember it.
No, I mean it's going for similar vibes, isn't it, with the coastal setting towards the second half? But yeah, I don't see where the rest. Oh wait, there's that line about visiting a place with Dodo, isn't there? Could that be it?
Oh yeah, maybe.
No, I don't think they're quite the same. I don't know whether he mentions visiting that exact place with Dodo or if he talks about somewhere similar. Oh, yeah, because he says poor Dodo didn't exactly have her sea legs that day. I hope it's not in reference to the interesting incident, because that's pretty dark of the Sixth Doctor to say Dodo got shot in the head, didn't have her sea legs.
I mean, it is Colin.
Did Dodo get shot? No, it was the arm, wasn't it, or the leg? Oh, the blood. It is the leg. That's even more dark. Didn't have her sea legs because they got shot with a bullet.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Wow. After the mind, Robert Ben, Quatermass in the pit. Don't procrastinate. You won't be disappointed.
I'm sure I'll love it. I'm sure I will love it.
I mean, it's that blank page thing, isn't it? It's just getting started. I think once you've started,
it's that unknown.
You'll be into it. Yeah,
it's that thing of not knowing what to expect, only what you people have said about it, and it's building a connection, isn't it? Because you're so used to the world of Doctor Who. You've got to broaden your televisual watching horizons, I guess.
Rory as the master is such a flimsy theory based on Rory owning a fob watch and complaining of a headache once. Wow, I have no idea of that. I think that's we weren't really on the internet at that point, so we missed all that. I think Rory works much better as his own character, really, and I don't think Matt Smith needed a master to go up against.
No, I don't think he needed it.
Yeah, I mean, technically, the master during his era is Gomez anyway.
Yeah,
the woman in the shop.
Yeah, true.
She exists off screen in Bells of St. John. So
I think that would be a weird thing to experience those two together.
You kind of have it anyway with like Tasha Lem and River, because she's very much that same femme fatale villain, isn't she?
Yeah.
So I feel like she would play well off Matt in the same way that those other characters do. Just got back from work to catch the end of the stream. Thank you for joining us again, Hovian.
Thank you for joining. Yeah. Hope you had a good shift at work.
I have a theory about the 11th Doctor Chronicles sets.
Ooh. Shoot, let us know.
Yeah, I've now listened to Geronimo, by the way.
Fun fact, Cryptobias ties into the Forge arc, Ben, because the Forge are behind since phase of code words, the Forge agents. This is the thing. Early Big Finish tend to reference a lot of stuff. I guess it's a bit like the black and white TARDIS arc, where you'll just have like the odd reference to what color the TARDIS is, but it's not really part of the ongoing arc, as it were. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like how Destroy the Infinite sets up the Eminence, but isn't necessarily part of Dark Eyes.
Yeah, you don't need to listen to Destroy the Infinite to enjoy Dark Eyes, or you don't need to listen to The Seeds of War to get Dark Eyes.
No. Although Destroy the Infinite's probably the best Eminence story.
I like Time's Horizon a lot.
Yeah. That one sort of does the more claustrophobic, spooky monster story, doesn't it?
Yeah, which I like a lot.
Oh, Hoover Small Collector says Clara Echo is going to be the 11th Doctor Chronicles big bad. I can feel it, especially since it's set after Snowman Before Bells. Oh, we shall see. I mean, apparently we're getting an evil Clara one in the Christmas special, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we're actually going to get Jenna Coleman.
Yeah.
Or she's still doing
Yeah.
lemons. There's a lot of lemons in that play.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to deal with that. Is it going to be like a recast, or is it going to be a Clara who's sort of a different Clara for whatever reason? Like, there's a reason why she's played by a different actor. Could it maybe be an older Clara? Like, so it's Jenna Coleman, but it's, well, not played by Jenna Coleman, but it's like the same character, but just an old woman.
Could it be her nan? The person who plays her nan?
Maybe.
Because she's worked for Big Finish in the middle.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I suppose we've got to wait till December to see how that plays out. They said it's interesting when you look at the stories and how they all seem very individual in the synopsises, but then actually having listened to the first set now, seeing how different things tie together. Oh, older Clara. Small collection. Can we talk about how Clara's dad used to be hot then in Time of the Doctor? He's not hot. Is it 8 or is it... Was it a recast? I can't remember.
I think it was a recast.
But was it like meant to be an older recast, or is it just that he was awkwardly recast because the original actor wasn't available?
I'm sure it's covered in like the complete history book somewhere.
Yeah. You've got to love how convincingly they managed to do like young Jackie and Pete.
Yeah.
With the car. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think Pete they get away with because he's cast as the 80s version originally, isn't he? But then he's like not necessarily aged up, but he's playing older, whereas Camille's playing younger originally. Yeah, that's great casting, how they're able to do both ages convincingly. Like, with 20 years between them. Nick hadn't watched Dalek's Master Plan, Marco Polo, The Savages, The Mythmakers, The Massacre, all the Smugglers till I sent him the DVD recons. I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of those either beyond the odd surviving episode.
Dalek's Master Plan surprises me because obviously being the king of the Daleks, you'd think he'd have experienced, you know, the mother of all Hartnells, really. The Massacre's brilliant. You should check it. I feel like you'd like The Massacre. And Marco Polo is a lot of fun. Like Marco Polo is that one where you think, why have we not seen it?
Yeah, with how much it was sent out.
Maybe come November we'll be sitting down to watch Marco Polo. We can hope.
He went through rough times after being turned into the Master. He also remarried. The Smugglers is brilliant. Why doesn't Who doesn't love Master Plan except Luke and his anti-recon stance? It's not necessarily an anti-recon stance. It's more just rather wait until they're animated.
There's there's an official release.
Yeah. We'll get something with season 3 either way. Once the season 3 comes along, whatever version is on there, I'll watch that. And yeah, it's also just that thing of once I've watched Dalek's Master Plan now, that's it. There's no more new classic Dalek stories for me to watch.
You've got to face that at some point.
Yeah, but I've just faced no more Pertwee stories, so I can wait a few more years before facing the next hurdle.
Just bang your head, get amnesia, and experience it all over again.
Medical advice from Pertwee Smith 11 right there.
I do not condone that, so don't do that.
Yeah. I struggle with the Massacre because there are so many characters that all sound the same with fake accents. I can imagine that being a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't work on audio, but watch the Loose Cannon Recon, and it's a real good one.
I mean, going back to Clara's dad being remarried as well, that's a bit awkward how Clara's family's dealt with that. So is it even like explicitly said that she's a stepmom?
I don't. I think it's a grey area, isn't it? That.
Yeah, you sort of forget it really. Clara's character is just often what the story needed her to be.
Yeah, and I think Series 7 was too caught up on movie of the week. So yeah,
I think we were too spoiled by the Russell T Davies era and how that handled family that it just suddenly feels so wrong when you get to Moffat era. But I think the thing is, you can have it be consistent without having to have the characters always be there. Like there are plenty of other shows that just have parents drop in like once in a while.
I think Martha's Family is good, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're sort of weaved in and out of like the Harold Saxon.
Yeah, they're tied very much to Martha's arc.
Yeah.
It's Russell, isn't he? He gets that. Be interesting to see how they deal with Ruby.
I mean, we haven't mentioned it. What did you think of the 60s photos of shooting?
Oh yeah. Big bum.
Yeah, but deadly ass.
He's shaking his booty.
Yeah.
I mean, that all seems very exciting. It's nice to see how high profile it's going.
Yeah, Disney were promoting it, weren't they?
It's like it's not just leaked set photos, it's very professional promotional photos.
Yeah.
Like we don't know which episodes it's necessarily going to be. Is it the finale or?
I've heard what the Daleks were in episode 7 and 8 from Elite. I don't know how true it is. This is all wild theories here, but
I saw a theory that Jinx Monsoon's character was going to be Hecuba from the Queen of Time.
Yeah, I like that
with the toy maker because they both have a similar vibe, don't they? Neil Patrick Harris and Jinx Monsoon's character, at least from what we've seen in the makeup.
I can see that
costume.
And it'd be nice actually to bring that on screen. Maybe that's a future throwback review, Queen of Time.
But even if it's not that, it still sort of ties in with Toymaker, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still not officially confirmed yet, but
I feel like it has to be the Toymaker. Are we getting a musical episode? Do you think we get a musical?
Could very well be. Isn't one of Amy's aunts really famous now? She was in W1A and other shows and movies, or am I confusing her with someone else? Maybe. Amy's family's biggest letdown, not gonna lie. Like, bruh, we had a whole series where Amy says, I don't have a mum nor dad, just an aunt, and they're back, then nothing. Although I suppose at least with Amy, she's sort of married and moved out. There's the whole plot there. It would have been nice if they got at least a mention afterwards, though. They are awkwardly forgotten. But I feel like Clara is the worst offender. And I suppose with Moffat, he makes it more of like them three as a family, or four if you count River as well. I mean, technically they are a family if you count River, because then you've got mum and dad's daughter and son-in-law. So there you go. It's family focused on in a different way. But yeah, certainly Amy's mum and dad is a bit of an awkward point of series 5 to series 6 changes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another interesting theory from Hoovian. Jinx could be the terrible Zodin.
I like that just to be kept as a joke, to be honest.
Yeah. Have we heard that it was Attack of the Cybermen last, wasn't it? I think it's the last
Yeah, I
mention of
think
terrible
so.
Zodin.
I think.
Yeah, because he says he called Perry at one point. Remember how Amy and Rory met the Master off screen, as said in A Town Called Mercy? I don't think that's necessarily what that line was getting at. It's more the Doctor just saying, listing off his villains, really. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a reference to Amy and Rory having met him. I can imagine maybe the Doctor told them about him at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, Amy's technically met her off screen now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, with 8th of March.
Yeah. Terrible Zodin will be the final ever villain of the show. What a way for it to go out.
Doctor will never end.
No, the other line, Luke, that Amy says, hinting that she met him. I'm not sure on that one. I did watch it not so long ago, but yeah, nothing like that jumped out to me. I think sort of when Moffat got to series 7, it was just sort of like every character seemed to end up with an assumed knowledge of everything. Like Clara seemed to know about the Daleks before she ended up meeting them. And is Clara ever even told about the Time War?
Yeah, she reads the book in Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS.
Is that when she finds out about it? But I suppose there's other stuff when you get to Time of the Doctor that was told off screen. You don't really get a reveal for. But I mean, it's one of the great things about Geronimo again.
There we go.
You get that not only spoken about between the Doctor and Valerie, but also it's a part of the worked into the message of the story as well. But we shall talk about that in a few weeks. Series 7 was the Moffat burnout era. Oh, but Journey never happened, Ben. But you've been got there.
Forget the big friendly button.
Clara got to the page about Anti-Genesis and went, nope. I can't wait to get to the end of Doctor Chronicles. It looks banging. It's good stuff. Vivian, you'll like it. Bless you.
Thank you. But yeah, I think that's pretty much us done for tonight by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, one last message from Stephen Noonan here. For me, William Hartnell gives perhaps his best performance in the Daleks' master plan since An Unearthly Child. No.
I can see that.
That's-
I can see that.
I suppose it's the stakes raising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think the Massacre as well, he gives a good performance as well.
No. Yeah, I think even after that, he's still doing pretty well. Like, I think probably season 2 is where he's at his most awkward with his memory. Like instance, like the Web Planet where he just completely forgets his line.
And you've got poor
least-
Willie Russell just sort of going, "Come on, Bill, you can
Yeah,
do
he's
it."
just like-
You can do...
Hmm? This isn't just a ring.
And Derek Martin's going, "Yes, this is cinema." Put more Vaseline on the camera lens.
Oh wow. There we go. That's a good note to end on, isn't it?
Oh dear me.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, been a pleasure as always.
Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment telling us your favourite Master Stories or your least favourite.
Yeah, do both if you feel generous.
Give your hot takes. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us where we're right.
At the end of the day, it's your opinion and our opinion. Respect it, you know.
And we'll see you next Friday when we give our opinions on the further adventures of Lucy Miller, as voted by you. Perhaps.
Yeah.
We put a poll out. We've got a good amount of responses, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll decide about what we can do next after that.
And we're less than 2 weeks away now from Once and Future starting as well.
Oh, that's very exciting. Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Stephen Noonan says, great thing about Doctor Who, one of many, is the spectacular diversity opinion about what's great and what's not.
It's that sort of discussion point, isn't it? And sort of meeting in the middle, because we all share a common ground and interest in liking this silly daft show.
I think most stories must be someone's favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can always take away something positive from stories. Even Underworld, you can find something that's enjoyable, like the credits or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure there's one particular roundel in the story that stands out as above the rest.
Yeah.
That you can look at in the background and just think, that's a good roundel, that
We're
one.
like, is that a new roundel? Is that where the
Tom
budget went?
Something different with his hair? Oh, God, have you seen that picture of him at the party for the 15th anniversary where he's got like his hair slicked
Yeah, and
back?
he looks like Oscar Wilde.
Yeah. It's an awkward one.
Yeah.
Stylish One says, thanks for another stream, everyone. Take care and enjoy. Take care, Stylish One. Thank you as ever for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, people who are watching on replay. We appreciate you all. Yeah. Been a good one.
Plenty of master goodness to be had here. And yeah, we are sorry if we missed out a story that you think counts as a master story, but ended up not being on the tier list.
Pretty much all of Series 10.
Yeah, it's awkward, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Should probably put an asterisk by the every in the title, but oh well.
Yeah. We've done it now. We've done it. It's all good.
All that's left now is to say goodbye, everyone.
It's a good night from him.
Good night from me.
Goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See you on Friday.